But that second practice, they picked it up, and we're looking to have a really good game tonight.
Yeah, Sheldon, can you tell us just kind of some of the things that you saw at practice the last couple of days for these two teams?
I saw some aggressiveness with the offensive linemen for the East team. The receivers and the quarterback stands out for the West side with the Nick Starkel and the Kevin Davidson, Patton Snell. These guys look like they're pretty accurate with that football, and their receiving core looks really great, really aggressive too.
So for the East squad, George Teague is their head coach. Teague, the former safety for the Dallas Cowboys. Tony Banks is the offensive coordinator. He, of course, was the former quarterback of the Cowboys as well. Barry Foster, the running back coach. Al McCauley is the linebacker coach from Temple University. Ken Stills is the defensive back coach. He played in the NFL for the Green Bay Packers and Minnesota Vikings. Jeff Thomas, the wide receivers coach. Marco Rivera, the offensive line coach. Of course, Rivera, a former Dallas Cowboy himself. And Sheldon, can you talk about just a little bit how impactful it can be for these high school seniors to be under the tutelage of some of these former NFL players, not only from a football perspective, but also from a life perspective over the last couple of days?
Well, one of the things you're going to get out there dealing with these former NFL players is you're going to get a level of coaching that you're not used to. You're going to get some of those details that just regular coaches just probably just not, they don't know, that they haven't experienced it because they haven't played that level. As far as the life is concerned, these lessons are definitely going to carry over to the latter part of their lives. Because one thing I've shared with some of the kids that I had a chance to talk to.
We've got the national anthem here from AT&T Stadium on the Impact Football Network. All right, from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, it's the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl. The West squad will be in gray tonight. East will be in the blue, so kind of a little bit confusing there. It's the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl, but there's an East squad and a West squad. And for the West squad, they are coached by Mark McMillan. He's the head coach and the DB coach, formerly of the Philadelphia Eagles and Kansas City Chiefs. George Martinez is their defensive coordinator. Lorenzo Neal, who is the fullback in front of LaDainian Tomlinson for many years in San Diego, is the running back coach for the West. Tavita Ofanegi is the offensive line coach. Byron Evans is the linebacker coach. Ernest Jones, the defensive line coach. And Tom Clayton, the special teams coach, formerly of the New England Patriots. As we have the coin toss down on the field, we will play 16-minute quarters in this Blue-Gray All-American Bowl, which, okay, at first glance and at first thought, yeah, that is maybe a bit off kilter, but I think it's a good thing. These players get an extra 4 minutes to kind of showcase themselves in this Blue-Gray All-American Bowl, and at the end of the day, that's really what this entire thing is about, and why Gus Bell and Sean Zaglinski and the entire Impact Football Network put something together like this. As we take a look down on the field, the West squad in gray has won the toss. They have elected to receive the football, and so West will be on offense first. And the West squad, full of a bunch of hometown folks. These are the Texas players on the West squad as we take a look at their roster. They've got players from Texas and California, Nevada, Oklahoma, Hawaii, Arizona, so kind of the western part of the United States, and in particular, Sheldon, two very hotbeds for a high school football talent. That would be the state of Texas and the state of California.
I'll definitely have to agree with you, Ryan. I'm originally from California as well. And they do keep a plethora of athletes in both of those states. Not to mention Florida is also one of those states that tends to produce a lot of athletes as well. I also want to mention, you mentioned guys from the West Coast and some of the students, guys have to travel pretty far. There is Fred Mawingoa from Tafuna, American Samoa, which is in the South Pacific Ocean. So that's probably, he got the award for the farthest traveled player today.
Absolutely, and what an experience for him, and certainly for all of these players to be able to play a football game here pretty close to Christmas time at AT&T Stadium. Of course, the Cowboys played here last night, lost to the New York Jets, but a quick turnaround to get this game, and in fact there were several other games here earlier today, a couple of Pee Wee football games as well. So this has been a busy venue over the weekend, and nice to cap it off with this blue-gray All-American Bowl. The West squad in the gray jerseys and blue pants will be receiving the football first, and kicking off in the navy blue jerseys and white pants will be the East squad. So we'll have to try to keep that straight. I'm going to mess that up a few times, and hopefully, Sheldon, you can keep me in line there. And so for the West, back deep to return, Mike Green, a running back from Grant Union, California.
And kicking off for the East, we have number 5, Jackson Terry, 5'11", 180 out of Rockhurst, Missouri.
So the kicker's getting some love there. Jackson Terry getting ready to kick it off from right to left as you see it here from AT&T Stadium. The Blue-Gray All-American Bowl alongside Sheldon Jackson Jr. and our entire crew. I'm Ryan Castle. Thanks for being with us. And this Blue-Gray All-American Bowl is underway with a high end-over-end kickoff. And it will send the return man back to the goal line. This is Tevin McDaniel bringing it out, and he will not make it to the 20-yard line. Dropped at the 16. Nice open field tackle made right there on special teams by Cody Maluglin from El Dorado, Kansas.
One of the things you didn't see there was number 48, James Brown. He's a linebacker for the East squad, and I looked for him to really make a name for himself and turn a couple heads today in this game.
So each team has 3 quarterbacks on the roster. We'll see a good heavy dose of all 3 of them in this game. And normally what we see in these games is teams spread it out. And so the West squad will come out in 4 receivers. And this is Nick Starkel, who's starting off at quarterback. He's got a man all alone at the 25, a first down and more. Up across the 40, still on his feet, inbounds. And inside East territory, down to the 30-yard line, this is number 7, Justice Bean, a receiver from the Frankston ISD here in Texas, and he has a big gain deep into East territory, a first down to the East 39-yard line.
We had Dorian Banks on that tackle from Sevier County, Tennessee. Good job coming in and making a play and making sure that guy didn't make a touchdown.
And a nice job there by Starkel, who's starting off at quarterback, eluding some pressure and finding a wide open Bean for a big gain. And before the next snap of the football, we'll have a penalty that comes in from the referee. Well, if you remember this game last year, very low scoring. I believe it was a 7-0 final or something similar to that. The defenses really ruling the day in that game last year, but so far the offense off to a hot start. And Nick Starkel from Liberty Christian, and that's right here in the Metroplex, I believe, in Argyle.
Yes, sir, right there right south of Denton.
I'm 6'4", 187-pounder. Nick Starkel out of a pistol, and a running back behind him. They will hand it off this time to Shannon Warren, coming off tackle to the right, and he's got a nice gain down to around the 30-yard line. That's close to another West first down. Good blocking at the point of attack that time by the offensive line. I'll try to get the some love down to those folks as well. And we
look for the West to throw the ball a lot. They do have prototype type receivers. They got accurate quarterbacks. I expect the coach to willing to put the ball in the end zone here pretty soon.
They got Zach Farrar lined up wide to the right. Starkle on a play fake on first down, rolling to his left, throws across his body. That'll be incomplete. Intended for David Cial from Northgate, California. Unable to hold on. It'll be second down. But you've got to like what you've seen so far from Nick Starkle, doing a nice job moving out of the pocket and throwing on the run there. His receiver just unable to catch it. Going to be kind of hard for us. There's no down marker. Well, actually, there might be a down marker over there on the far side. It's very tiny. I think it's third down, if we're seeing that correctly.
3rd and 10.
Yep, 3rd down and 10 coming up. And the West will go with 4 wides and a running back. They need to get to the east 20-yard line for a first down. Starkle to throw quickly out to the right. That'll be dropped by Farrar. Had a block at the point of attack, unable to hold on to the ball. He's a very nice, as you mentioned, Sheldon, a prototypical receiver, 6'4", 208 pounds from South Lake Carroll High School. That time unable to hold on. It's going to be 4th down, and the West squad will try a field goal here. This will be, let's see if we can get a number down there. They've got 2 kickers on the roster. And I believe this is Dylan Brown. 6'1", 150 pounds from Hamilton, Arizona.
Flag down on the field.
Oh, yeah, false start. So that's going to make it a bit more difficult here for Brown. It's going to be about a 49-yard attempt. Let's see where they put the holder at. 4th and about 15. 51-yard attempt from the right hash here for Dylan Brown. So Brown, an early chance to show off his leg and try to give West the lead from 51 yards, and it will not have the distance. Just barely short, no good. And the 5-yard penalty by the West there on 4th down ends up costing him 3 points.
Got to give credit to number 91, Jacques Turner, on that play. He got such great penetration up down the middle. Definitely influenced that kick.
So 0-0 our score. We're early in the first quarter, and the East will take over on offense for the first time. And they will huddle up. They'll start from their own 34-yard line, coming right to left. And at quarterback to get us going here will be, let's see here, number 10, who, Sheldon, you'll have to forgive me, I don't have it.
Deuce Wallace out of Sevier County, Tennessee.
Says 16 on our roster. Wallace will hand off on first down. And a nice gain up across the 40 to around the 42-yard line. And I could not get an eye on who got that carry, but a nice carry it was.
Tank Love, number 22, out of Heritage Hall, Oklahoma. You can look for the East to run the ball a lot this game.
And they're lining up in an eye right. They are not spreading the ball out. And you might expect nothing less from George Teague. There's a handoff, and behind right tackle comes James Robinson for a first down up across the 45-yard line. Teague, of course, known for being a very tough-minded player in his time with the Cowboys. And they are going to run the football a lot, as you mentioned, Jackson.
And they should. Their offensive linemen are averaging about 300 pounds. We're talking 290, 254, 285, 325, 350. I watched Sean Bailey, number 75. He was a big kid down there just throwing himself during practice, throwing his body around in practice. Looked really good.
Now line up in an eye left, and a play fake here on first down for Wallace. Rolling to his left, he'll throw it out of bounds. Deuce Wallace, nothing open. Threw the ball into the bench area. It'll be 2nd down and 10 coming up as the East squad attempts their first pass attempt of the game. It'll be 2nd down. A good decision right there by Wallace with nothing open and good coverage downfield to live and see a 2nd down play here. And certainly Tony Banks will be happy to see that, the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. Eye left formation, the snap by Wallace, another play fake, and look at the pressure off the edge. Down goes Wallace in the backfield. And that was number 97 on the defensive line, Hunter Medici from Nevada, 6'4", 230 pounds, and he was in the backfield in a hurry.
little breakdown in communication there in the offensive front. Made it easy for Mr. Medici to get back there and make a tackle for loss.
Coming from his right defensive end spot to make that play, and now it is 3rd down and about 16. Boy, very tough to see those down markers on the opposite side of the field. Here's the snap. Back to throw is Wallace. The pressure off the edge. He'll escape to his left and will throw the ball down the field out of bounds. Great job up front by the defensive line of the West. They really got after Wallace on that drive, and it's time to punt for the East. And for the East, a couple of punters on their roster as well. We saw kicking off earlier was Jackson Terry, and he'll be back to punt as well now.
And back deep for the West, we had number 26, Broderick Jones. Real quick, really exciting young player.
Well, this is a beautiful punt, high spiraling kick. It'll bounce at the 12-yard line, bounce back upfield, and be killed at around the 16-yard line. That was a wonderful punt right there by Jackson Terry, high spiraling kick. So 0-0, our score is still in the first quarter. And West will take back over on offense. Missed a field goal their first possession. I've been impressed by both defenses so far. The East defense kind of bending but not breaking on their first defensive series, and then West doing a nice job there of getting after the quarterback.
Defense a lot easier to work on when you have short time.
I believe we have an interview down on the field with Mercedes Owens. Mercedes?
Hey, Ryan, I'm down here with Shai Anderson. He's actually Jerry Jones' grandson and a former All-American player yourself. What's it like to be back here today?
Well, I like being back here. Actually, both my coaches are coaching here tonight. On the west side, Coach Teague, I think it's the East, right? I can't remember. But he is my high school coach for the past 4 years, and he's by far the best coach that coached me besides my dad.
And being out here on the field and seeing the guys out there working, does it bring back any good memories? What was your experience like personally?
My experience was a 41-7 victory against the East. And I got to play, got a few tackles, and had a great time. And football is by far my favorite sport. And it's easy to watch football, play football, and love to see how these high school kids can do.
And it doesn't hurt to get a big win just like you did. Well, thank you so much, Shai Anderson. We will talk to you later. Back to you, Ryan.
All right, Mercedes, thanks. And we're back to action here on the field. Nick Starkle will hand off on first down. And a nice run over the right side here by the West. That was Morian Walker, I believe, or was it Mike Green? Might have been Mike Green on the carry. And
Gavin Lively on the tackle.
yeah, it was Walker on the carry that time, and he ran over a guy right at the point of attack. It'll be 2nd down and about 4, and they'll again hand it off here to Walker. And Walker will cut it back up across the 30, close to a 1st down.
Tackled by number 44, Robert Fish out of Warren Local, Ohio. He did a real good job skating down the field and kind of taking on the block and shedding that blocker to make a tackle on the play.
He's a nice-looking linebacker for the east side and made the tackle right there. The West will huddle up. It'll be 1st down for them at their own 32-yard line. No score here in the first quarter of the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl from AT&T Stadium here in Arlington, the home of the Dallas Cowboys. Starkle will be in the pistol, 2 to the right. And a play fake on 1st down. He'll throw it out to the flat. That'll be caught by Walker. And a nice gain for Morian Walker. And a 1st down. On a catch out of the backfield, Morian Walker, nice carry there, and a 1st down for the West. So far, Mark McMillan, the West head coach, and the offensive coaching staff getting Starkle on the move, and that has paid off so far. The offensive line doing a nice job of protecting up front. Starkle will come to the line of scrimmage here. Walker will be in the backfield along with Mike Green. He's the deep back. And a 3-receiver look here for the West. The snap back, they'll hand it to Green, and Green will try the left side, and he'll gain a couple. Across midfield, there is a penalty marker down on the far side of the field, right at the point of attack. And that might be some kind of an offensive holding here. Let's wait and see. But so far, the two running backs for the West, Morian Walker and Mike Green, doing a nice job carrying the football. Both of those guys from California. Morian Walker from Valley Christian and Mike Green from Grant Union.
It is going to be a holding call on the field. And again on that tackle, that was number 4, Gavin Lively. That's a couple times. He gets in there and is not afraid to get his hands dirty.
So the holding penalty will move the West back to the 37-yard line, where it will be 1st down and 20 coming up. Both teams huddling up, and as Sheldon mentioned to you earlier, these teams really only having a couple of days to practice and put plays together offensively, so pretty vanilla playbook, but so far both offenses have executed fairly well. Starkle back to throw on 1st and 20, has some time, and now he'll escape the pocket and slide down up across the 40 at around the 42-yard line. A gain of about 5 for Starkle with his feet there, and I've been impressed so far, Sheldon, with his instincts in the pocket. He knows when to stay in there and deliver a throw, and he knows also when to escape.
Very true. That time, the the line kind of broke down a little bit. There was some great pressure from the defensive front. And like you said, Starkle knew how to evade those tackles and kind of get positive yards on that play.
Tevin McDaniel from Heritage Hall, Oklahoma, is now into the lineup as a running back. And lined up directly behind Starkle will be Morian Walker, number 23. 2nd and about 17. Starkle on a play fake, rolls to the right, on the run, man all alone, the ball is dropped. Incomplete. And that time intended for Ben Walker from Arizona. Had a 1st down if he was able to hold on. Instead, it'll be 3rd down and long coming up for the West.
Ben's usually a sure-handed receiver. That's not common for him. So I think that they'll definitely use him again. The ball will definitely come back his way.
And they had him on a nice comeback route for a 1st down. Just unable to hold on, and now it's 3rd and about 16 coming up here. Probably somewhere around midway through this 1st quarter. We do not have an official time. We'll hope to maybe get that at some point. But we are in the 1st quarter, 0-0 our score. And before the next snap of the football whistles and the officials want to stop it for something, a timeout. Timeout called by the West, and Coach Mark McMillan. Nick Starkle is in at quarterback so far. We've also seen Morian Walker and Mike Green. Some of their receivers we've seen, Zach Farrar and Ben Walker. I've been impressed so far with the West offense, despite no points on the board so far.
I would agree. I knew that they were going to be able to throw the ball effectively. They had the athletes. The East, though, they also have a defensive front line that I think is pretty good. They move around really well. They should be able to get back there and make things difficult for the quarterbacks for the West squad, but time will tell. We'll see how that looks.
Coach McMillan wanting to talk things over with his offense prior to a 3rd and 16 from the West 42-yard line. They need to get to the East 43 for a 1st down to keep this drive alive. They missed a 51-yard field goal attempt on their 1st drive. The East punted after 6 plays on their opening drive. Starkle out of the gun on 3rd down with 4 receivers. Some time to throw, looking across the middle, has a man incomplete. Justice Bean, who had a nice catch and run earlier, unable to secure this football. It'll be 4th down and time to punt for the West. A nice route run right there by Bean, and it was good coverage down the field right there by the East. Bean is not an easy guy to keep up with. He's about 5'11", 185, somewhat of a Cole Beasley type. And now back to punt for the West will be Tommy Park, the first time we've seen him, from Mount Vernon, Washington. We'll try to get an eye on who is back there deep to return for the East.
Looks like James Robinson.
Yep.
Out of Illinois.
Yep. Looks like you're right, number 25. He's waiting at the 15-yard line. There is a penalty down before the snap. And that'll be a procedure penalty against the punting team until they'll back it up 5 yards. So James Robinson waiting back deep to return. We'll see what he can do on special teams here, awaiting the punt from Tommy Park. Snap is a good one, and Park gets away a nice punt. Robinson will let it bounce, and he will now field it at the 23-yard line, coming straight up the middle, tries to bounce it outside and would be brought down at the 30-yard line. About a 7-yard return there for Robinson after the ball bounced a couple of times. Nice punt by Park and good coverage down the field by the West. And now the East will take over on offense for the second time tonight. They had Deuce Wallace in at quarterback their first time. Let's see if Deuce stays in here. And it looks like he will. They'll come out in an I left formation, a tight end on the right side of the formation with 2 receivers. And they will hand it off on first down. And not much. The running back stood up at the line of scrimmage, falls forward for maybe a yard. And as they unstack, let's see here, I believe, well, I'm honestly not sure what that was on the carry. Tough to tell. One thing we desperately need here on the broadcast is a spotter. Tristan Fairchild is lined up as the deep back in this formation. 2nd down and 10. And they'll go on play action. Wallace rolling out. Ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. And the heavy pursuit from the defensive line of the West continues here as they get into the backfield and disrupt the timing of that screen pass. It's going to be 3rd and about 9 coming up here for the East.
Yeah, that defensive line for the West is pretty good, Ryan. I mean, those kids are. We got number 95, Joe Wallace, headed to Texas Tech. We got number 91, Matthew McGill, headed to East Texas Baptist Church. Baptist College, I'm sorry. These kids are pretty aggressive. These guys work really hard. The practice this week was really good for them, and they're moving around. Not very difficult guys to block.
And Wallace with a completion on 3rd down, but that's going to be well short of a first. The ball was caught by Matthew Blazer from Virginia, and he is a gain of about 6. 4th and 4 coming up, and the East will once again punt. The first time, their punter, Jackson Terry, had a very good punt. Standing at his own 23-yard line, takes a good snap and gets away a high spiraling kick. This is going to bounce at the 32-yard line and be killed right there. Nice play down field there by the East. That's James Brown, a linebacker on special teams, who got down there to cover the punt. So a 40-yard punt, no return. It'll be 1st down for the West. No score here in the first quarter. Both teams have had the ball 2 times. And the West will now go on offense for a 3rd time. We've had 3 punts in the game so far. So it's another low-scoring affair here at the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl. Very similar to what we had last year so far. And Nick Starkel on his 3rd possession as the quarterback of the West. With a snap back, and he will hand off to Green, and Green with some running room over the right side. I beg your pardon, this is McDaniel, 27, with a nice carry out close to midfield for the West and a 1st down.
You missed a great pancake block for the West with number 63, Rebel Van Glerick out of Ranch View, Texas. Pancake blocks are what linemen love to have. Coaches love to see kids putting other kids on their backs, and Van Glerick just dominated the young man he was blocking.
There was a penalty flag down on that play. It was offsides against the defense, and so that was declined. And the run by McDaniel up to the West 49-yard line, a 1st down. The West by far has had the advantage in moving the football so far. And the snap back to Starkel to go on play action. He'll again roll to his left, throw off his back foot, down deep, and that will be incomplete. A penalty flag is down deep in the secondary. This might be defensive pass interference against the East. And back in coverage was Dorian Banks from Sevier County, Tennessee. as the officials congregate amongst themselves around midfield.
Nick Starkel is getting all day to throw that football. That offensive line for him is doing a real good job. They're misdirection. They're moving guys left and right, which is making it very difficult for that defensive front for the East squad to get back there and even touch the quarterback.
Well, it was quite an impressive throw, really off of his back foot, kind of throwing across his body there, and he got that ball 35 yards in the air. And it is pass interference against the defense, so a first down for the West at the East 36-yard line. Stark will be in the shotgun with 4 receivers, and the running back to his right is David Ciel. Starkel looking to throw. Here comes the pressure, and he will be buried. Back at the 40-yard line, a 4-yard loss there, and the sack made on the play there by number 98 on the defensive line. That is Dalton Clark from Ohio. At 6'2", 300 pounds, he showed the speed to get off the edge there and bury Starkel in the backfield. So that will bring up 2nd and 14 here back at the 40-yard line. Starkel back to the pistol. They'll have a slot on the left side, and they will hand it off here to Shannon Warren, and Warren will get into the second level. He'll get back across the original line of scrimmage to around the 34-yard line. A nice 6-yard gain there for Shannon Warren to bring up 3rd down. The West got stalled out around this area of the field on their first possession, wound up settling for a 51-yard field goal attempt that was just short. And let's see if they can pick up a big 3rd down here.
That was a great job by Ray Wilson out there from Junction City, Kansas, getting off the block and getting up there and making a play on the ball carrier. Just throwing himself at the legs of that ball carrier, getting him down.
The running back here will be McDaniel on 3rd down and about 7. Starkel from the pistol. He'll go play action. Rolling to his right again, has all day. Throws it to Bean for a first down.
You got to attribute the referee for that natural pick that he provided for that receiver.
Yeah, the umpire providing some assistance there. And Justice Bean with another catch, another first down for the West. And they have their deepest penetration tonight into East territory. A first down at the 24-yard line.
I'm pretty sure that's how Coach Margin Hooks designed it. And use the referee whenever you can as a natural pick when you're running routes.
Yeah, you know, the pick play is becoming ever more popular. That a legal pick play right there. 4 receivers, first down from the 24, and the handoff, and not much. Wonderful job there by the defensive line of the East to shoot the gap. Nothing doing in the running game right there for the West. It'll be 2nd down and a loss of 2.5.
That young man right there, Glenwood Williams, out of Maryland, has been actually getting in the backfield quite a few times during this past series, but that time he got back there just in time to make a play in the backfield for a little loss.
A loss of officially 3, so it'll be 2nd and 13 as the West huddles up. They will scrimmage from the 27-yard line. We're in the first quarter here from Arlington, Texas at AT&T Stadium, the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl. And before this snap, we'll have another timeout taken here by the West. That'll be their 2nd timeout of this first half. We'll take a break, come back for more here from Arlington, Texas.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
3 minutes and 33 seconds left in the first quarter of the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl. It's the West nothing and the East nothing, but Sheldon, the West doing a nice job on this drive on the running game, and Nick Starkel has really impressed at the quarterback position so far.
He definitely has. He's got a good group of guys he's been throwing the ball to. He's been passing around. Mr. Bean has been his recipient a couple of times, and he's made some great catches for him.
What do you like about Bean's game from what you've seen in practice and so far tonight?
Great possession receiver, I think. He's got good speed, and he gets open, and he runs really crisp routes, and his hands are a sure thing.
It's going to be 2nd down and 13 out of the timeout. Starkle back to throw. They've got a
flags
free
on the
play
play.
here on an offsides. They go to the end zone. It'll be incomplete as they threw it up deep, trying to get Zach Farrar in the end zone. But a penalty flag back at the line of scrimmage. This will most likely be offsides against the defense. That's the 2nd time Starkle has caught the defensive line in the neutral zone for the East. And it will bring up a 2nd down and about 8 coming up. Now going out wide for the West to the left side or to the top of the formation, Davion Curtis from Temple, Texas. Also Bean is slot left. Snap back to Starkle with a straight drop, pumping. Now going deep, and it'll be incomplete. That time looking for Curtis on the outside. And that right there may be a product of just really never practicing with these receivers other than the last couple of days. Didn't appear to be a lot of chemistry right there between Starkle and Curtis.
No, not at all. That route should have stayed in the back of the end zone somewhere, and you saw Curtis kind of cut that route short, coming across the goal line. Don't think that's where the ball was intended to go. I don't think that was the route where it was intended to go either.
So about 3 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. And the West, a 3rd down and 8, a 4-point play right here for the West. 3 receivers, a couple of running backs. They need to get to the 14-yard line for a first, and Starkle is back to throw. He's got over the middle. It's incomplete. Throw it behind the intended receiver, Zach Farrar.
He did have Justin Bean had a step on this man down the middle of the field. If he'd thrown that ball to him, we'd be celebrating 6 points right now.
Yeah, you're right about that. Bean was open. He was lined up in the slot on the right side of the formation. And instead, they will trot out Brown for another field goal attempt. Dylan Brown, the kicker from Hamilton, Arizona, this time will try a 39-yard attempt. And the ball in between the hashes. He missed a 51-yarder earlier, but had plenty of leg. There's the snap. They get it down. And this a chip shot. This will be no good. This time missed it to the left. And Dylan Brown unable to give us our first points of this Blue-Gray All-American Bowl here from AT&T Stadium.
Coach T's going to have to talk to those offensive line guys down there. They're giving up some great penetration down at the middle of that offensive line. They keep giving that up. They're going to get some more blocks here against them.
So the East will take over offensively. And let's see if we still have Deuce Wallace in at quarterback. I don't believe we do. I believe it's Harley Hazlitt now from Abilene, Kansas. And he's in the shotgun, going to take his first snap of this ball game, and he's going to hand it off on 1st down to James Robinson. And Robinson gets across the 25 up to the 28-yard line. Gain of about 6 there for Robinson behind the right side. It'll bring up a 2nd down and short coming up.
That's what the East is going to have to do. They're going to have to go off tackle right, off tackle to the left, and do some short passes. Kind of get this West defense backing up a little bit. They need a little more breathing room for this East offense to get going.
5-man front for the West defense. And again, the handoff to Robinson and a miscommunication up front. The ball's on the turf. And the West believes they have it. They do. West football. A miscommunication there on the exchange between the quarterback and the running back. Hazlitt and Robinson not on the same page. And the first turnover of the game is against the East. The West will take over with good starting field position at the East 23-yard line.
Look for Coach Teague and Coach Banks to get that ironed out immediately, and so they won't have any more of those problems going forward.
And now Nick Starkle will come back on. His 4th offensive series as the quarterback have resulted in a punt and 2 missed field goals in the first 3. Starkle will turn. He'll hand it off to McDaniel, coming straight up the middle. That's Mike Green on the carry. And Green coming right up the gut, slides inside the 20 to about the 19 for a 4-yard pickup. And losing his helmet on the play was one of the offensive linemen.
Number 91, Jacques Turner, came off the edge with such blazing speed and got his hand on the running back in the backfield, but not quite enough to get him get him a tackle for loss there.
Mike Green is a guy that when he gets the football, he is running downhill in a hurry.
Definitely. He was doing the exact same thing all practice long. He was not slow, and during his drills, he was going full speed. Nice cutback on that play.
That's Torian Walker who gets the carry this time. Morian Walker, I should say.
And Jock Turner on the tackle that time. He was ready for him on the cutback that time.
Not much of a gain there for Walker. As you mentioned, the nice cutback in the backfield, but the East they're in a hurry, and so it'll be 3rd and about 6. And the West so far on 3rd down has not been very good. Let's see if they can pick up a 3rd and 6 and keep this drive going. Starkle will be in the pistol. Green will be the deep man. 3rd and about 6. And a fumble on this play. It's loose. It'll be picked up by the East, and this will be returned outside the 30.
That's
down the sideline to the 50, to the 40.
Put up on the board.
This will be a touchdown. A fumble recovered, and an 83-yard return.
James Brown.
James Brown, the linebacker, a fortuitous bounce right to him, and he had the speed to go all the way for 83 yards and a score.
No flags on the play. That's going to count.
And again, a misexchange between a quarterback and a running back turning into a turnover, and this time it turns into points. Now Terry will come in to tack on the extra point to try and make this a 7-0 game. Just over 1 minute left in this first quarter. The snap and the hold, and Terry pumps it through. An 83-yard touchdown return off a fumble by James Brown, and the East has struck first here in the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl. As we go down to the sideline, Mercedes Owens is standing by. Mercedes?
Hey Ryan, I'm down here with Jeremiah Pritchard. We originally saw you at the Combine in Hawaii. Since then you've moved to Las Vegas, and you're working with NFL veteran Randall Cunningham. Tell us about that experience.
It's great. Randall, he has a lot of knowledge from college, going from college to the NFL, and he's just giving all his knowledge to us, and it's great learning. It's a good learning experience for him.
And do you have any interest from universities? Do you have anyone in mind, or what are you thinking?
So far, my biggest university that's showing interest is San Diego State University, and I have a few. I have UNLV, Oregon State, Hawaii, and Montana State, and as of right now, I'm looking forward to attending San Diego State.
It sounds like you want to stay near the ocean, somewhere warm, yeah?
I mean, I was thinking about going to Hawaii because that's where I'm originally from, Hawaii, the islands. But San Diego State, they have a good football program there. And it's still like Hawaii. It's like another part of Hawaii.
Well, wherever you decide, best of luck to you, Jeremiah. Thanks so much for joining us. Back to you, Ryan.
All right, Mercedes, thank you very much. Good job down there on the field. And getting ready to kick off, Jackson Terry for the East. And we have who's back deep to return for the West. High end-over-end kick here by Terry. It's going to be a short kick return from the 10-yard line. And a nice return here, sideline 30, 40, and out of bounds. Nice return by Tevin McDaniel of the West. He's had a couple of electrifying returns on special teams, and he sets up the West here with good starting field position. Down 7-0 here at the tail end of the first quarter.
It's a great seal block on the for the West side. It was far away from the ball. Nobody could kind of see it. But you put one of the players, one of the East guys, down his back. Definitely helps bring that run.
McDaniel with a 35-yard return up to the West 45-yard line. And now we'll see Kevin Davidson from McClemens, California, as the signal caller on this drive for the West. Nick Starkle had 4 series, couldn't put any points on the board, and now let's see what Kevin Davidson can do. Out of the shotgun on first down from the 45, and he will hand it off. And a 2-yard carry behind the right guard.
It was a great tackle by number 50 for the East team by Glenwood Williams III. He was being blocked at the time of catching, getting a handful of jersey for the running back and getting him down on the ground.
David Ciel was the running back on that carry, 2 yards, and that will be the end of the first quarter. here from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl. The East 7 and the West nothing. Our coverage here on the Impact Football Network will continue in a moment.
But it would be safe to keep your distance until the no secret that laughter makes you smile. Reliable sources say that chicken soup has found their way out of this dangerous, but it would be safe to keep your distance until they are returned.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Mercedes Owens is down on the field.
Guys, I'm down here with Deuce Wallace out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Now, Deuce, I just heard that you committed to Vanderbilt, close to home. How excited are you for that experience?
I am actually super excited. I'm actually enrolling early, so I go to college in about 3 weeks. So I couldn't be more excited about it.
You're growing up fast, going to college early.
Very fast. Hopefully I'm going to go through spring practice, start class early. So, like I said, I'm really looking forward to it.
To get a little more prepared. Now, speaking of getting prepared, has this weekend helped you out at all? What's this blue-gray experience been like for you this weekend?
Oh, it's been an unbelievable experience, to be able to meet, a whole bunch of kids from across the country, working with NFL veterans. We have a great coaching staff here, and this game, it's pretty awesome to be able to play in Cowboys Stadium is a dream, and I'm very happy to be here.
All right, well, thank you so much, Deuce. Best of luck to you at Vanderbilt. We'll look forward to seeing you out there. All right, thanks, guys.
All right, Mercedes, thank you very much, and boy, Deuce had a very nice first quarter for the East squad, and as we were down on the field, a big play there by Harley Hazlitt, a run down the left side, brought it inside the 15-yard line, and then Sheldon at the very end of that run coughed it up, and the West recovered.
Yep, that's what happens. You got to take care of the ball. You got to remember that you're playing with a good number of kids who are just as athletic, just as talented, trying to fight for the same number of scholarships you're fighting for. You got to protect the ball at all times.
And for the West, player down on the field there, but he appears to be just fine. That's Elijah Orr, a defensive back. So Deuce Wallace will be an early enrollee at Vanderbilt. They had a very good defense in the SEC this year. Held several teams to below their scoring average, but their offense was, well, let's just say not very good. And so hopefully Deuce Wallace can come in there in the spring and maybe think about competing for a starting quarterback position. Well, here is the West on offense. They start deep in their own territory, and they'll hand off on first down. And a nice carry up across the 25-yard line. Gain of 13 there for Mike Green, big number 33. And hit the hole hard for a first down and a gain of 13.
I like Mike Green. During practice, he was one of those players that worked very hard. The first day, even though it was a lot of installation, his drills were full speed. The second day, when he got a little more comfortable with the plays, again, you saw another level, another gear he had, and it was really great to watch.
And Morian Walker will get the handoff here on first down from the 26-yard line. And he gets up close to the 30, short gain on the play. 7-0 East with the lead. A James Brown 83-yard fumble recovered for a touchdown and returned. And the West has moved to the football. They probably own the total yardage statistic, but they have missed a couple of field goals so far tonight. And Davidson from the gun, looking to throw, going deep, has a man open. That'll be caught at the 43-yard line. Big gain and a first down deep into East territory as the ball is caught by the tight end, Ben Walker. Big 6'4" receiver from Arizona. Got behind the coverage there, and that ball put on the money by Kevin Davidson to the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 35 and a first down. So Davidson challenging down the field really for the first time in the game. Here he'll take the snap, and he will hand it off. And this is Green, and Green will be bottled up rather immediately on that play. Nice tackle
by number 38, Reed McBroom out of Missouri.
And Reed did a nice job getting off his block.
Nice little open field tackle. Making sure you get the ball carried down to the ground. That's how you play the game.
And Green's been a hard guy to tackle so far in the game, but Reed made it look easy right there. 2nd and 10 coming up from the 35-yard line. 10:15 to play here before halftime of the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl. And Davidson will be in the shotgun. The snap is back. He'll go play action. Roll it out to his right. And throw on the run to Green. It'll be caught and now dropped. Incomplete. Intended that time for Mike Green, who couldn't hold on right at the marker. It'll be now 3rd down coming up.
Each player was sitting there waiting for him to throw that ball so he can make contact with the receiver once he caught it. Might want to try to get that ball to him a little sooner as you roll out outside the pocket.
Yeah, Davidson might have stared down his receiver a bit too long there. So again, the West squad able to drive the ball into East territory. And each time they've done so, they've gotten backed up on a third down. This time it's a 3rd and 10 from the East 35. Let's see what they draw up here on 3rd down. Back to throw. Nice blitz pick up there by Walker. And Davidson in some trouble. He's going to be buried in the backfield, back at the 37-yard line. The East got there. And on the defensive line,
number 70, William Coyer from Midway, Tennessee.
Yep.
And also in on that play was number 92, Jordan Foreman, out of Tallinn, Connecticut.
A couple of guys have made a long journey here to Arlington to play in this game and showing out here so far in the first half. It's 4th and 12, and the West is going to leave its offense on the field and try to pick this up here. They need to get to the 25-yard line to keep this drive alive, and before the snap, we'll have whistles and a timeout called here by the West. That is their 3rd and final timeout of the first half. We'll take a break as well here on the Impact Football Network. East 7, West nothing. Our coverage will continue in a moment.
Underneath everything we are, underneath everything we do, we are all people, connected, interdependent, united. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
Around 9 minutes left here in the second quarter of the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl. The East with a 7-0 lead over the West. The only touchdown so far has been a fumble return for a touchdown by James Brown. And out of this timeout, big play coming up here for the West. A 4th and 12 as they need to get it to the 25-yard line to keep this drive alive. Mike Green will be the running back to the left of Kevin Davidson in the shotgun.
Look for this ball to go to the air.
Yep. They'll shift Green to the right side now. Davidson back to throw, 4th down and 12. Looking middle, fires across, has a man open. 1st down and more inside the 10 and down to the 9-yard line. Caught by Caleb Pitts across the middle. Nice throw there by Davidson as Pitts got a step on the defender. And a 4th down and 12 pickup here by the West has them at 1st and goal from the 9-yard line. As they look to try and tie the game here, so come upon the midway point of this second quarter. Davidson again in the gun. Green is to his left with 3 receivers. And a handoff to Green trying to sweep the right side. He'll lower his shoulder and pick up maybe a yard over the right side. That was good pursuit of the football that time once again by number 38 of the East. That was Reed McBroom from Brookfield, Missouri. Made another tackle on the play. Mike Green will now come off the field. He's been a busy man in this first half for the West, as he has been the feature back for them so far. 2nd and goal at the 8. The running back here is Shannon Warren. Davidson looking to the flat, escapes the pressure, now rolls to his right, has some room to run at the 5, slips inside down to the goal line. He will be brought down short at the 1-yard line. It'll be 3rd and goal from there, as a nice job done there by Davidson to escape a sack and then get positive yardage down to the 1.
All the receivers were covered. He had to do whatever he had left to do was get open. He saw some green, took off running. Surprised he didn't get in the end zone.
So a 3rd and goal here, another 4-point play for the West. Green the running back. And Davidson will keep it himself. He will be brought down short. He lost it. The ball is out. The East has recovered.
Wow.
East football. Well, Davidson tried to fight for that extra yard to get down to the goal line. That wound up costing him the football. And the East defense has held again. They have their second takeaway now of this first half.
I'm going to give it credit to that collision. Number 37, Roderick Napper out of Beach, Tennessee. He came up and delivered a blow. One of the best hits so far in this game. Stopped the quarterback in his tracks on the 1-yard line.
And it really did look like Davidson had a lane to the end zone there after a nice play fake. The East defense able to stand strong. They still lead 7-0, and now they start offensively from their own 1. And the quarterback is under center. This is a new quarterback in the game. They'll hand off, and that is up to the 1, and that'll be it. Forward progress will be stopped at the 1-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 10 as that ball was handed off to Anthony Riley Jr. DeAndre Clayton from South County, Virginia, is now the quarterback for the East. So the West right here, Sheldon, a chance to kind of pin their ears back and come after this and hopefully maybe think about getting a safety.
Especially with this offense, with this running attack that they have going with the East right now. You definitely want to bring your A game, bring a couple of those guys right there, just pin your ears back. Let's go get a safety.
Clayton under center, and this will be a false start. Against the fullback right there.
He tried to fake it, tried to go back and try to make it look like a motion, but that's not going to work.
It's Lawrence Brown who got caught there. That penalty does almost nothing. The East is already at the 1-yard line, so they'll move it half a yard back. It'll be now 2nd and about 10.5 yards.
Looks like they still want to run.
Clayton under center and an eye right. And they will hand it off and just barely out of the end zone. Just across the goal line up to the half-yard line, and that's it. As the carry was made by, once again, Riley Jr. So 3rd down. Let's see if they maybe think about trying to go to the air here, as they have not had success on the first 2 plays of this on the ground. Riley Jr. will be the deep back. Tight formation with only 1 receiver, a couple of tight ends. Clayton under center. Has the snap, play action. He'll roll out, he'll find a man. That'll be open at the 5-yard line, out to the 7 or 8 before he's knocked out of bounds. That was the running back, Lawrence Brown, on the play, making the catch. He is short of a first down, but at least they get out of the shadow of their own goalpost and give Jackson Terry some room to punt the football here.
Nice little rollout pass, nice little completion. Like you said, not enough for the first down, but they have a lot of tricks up their sleeve, this East offense. I think they just need to continue with what they've been doing, keep pushing the ball, keep running the ball off tackle. They look to become victorious at the end of this game.
The West should have good field position. The snap bounces into Terry. He gets away a nice punt. And it will take an East bounce and now be returned here by the West. And a nice return it is, left side across midfield, out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Returned by number 26 of the West. And I'm taking a look down the roster. I'm not sure I see a 20. Up there it is, Broderick Jones, a defensive back from Summer Creek, Texas. Nice return there. There is a penalty flag down at the 42-yard line in the middle of the field. And that return might be coming back. And the penalty is against the West, and so the return by Broderick will not count. They'll move the football back onto the West's side of the 50. And that's where the West squad will start. 7-0 still the score. The East on top. They are the team in the blue jerseys. The West, the team in the gray jerseys, as we have about 5:38 to play here in the second quarter from AT&T Stadium. And I believe this is Kevin Davidson still in there at quarterback. And he will hand it off on first down to McDaniel. And McDaniel caught up in the line. He'll be dropped. Stood up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. And that will bring up second down and about 9 coming up. They did give him a yard on the play. It's been an improved effort, though, from the East's defensive line in stopping this ground game for the West.
Totally agree with you. Like I mentioned, number 91, Jock Turner's been really holding it down on the end. Looks like number 55, Emmett Good. No, I'm sorry, he's not out. He's not playing today.
Davidson back to throw. He's got a man in the middle. That's going to be caught for a first down and running away to the 40-yard line. Nice catch and run there, and that's Zach Farrar, who we mentioned earlier. Had a couple of dropped balls, and this time he has a first.
Great open field tackle by Gavin Lively. He's been making plays all game so far. Real tough defensive back. Great job covering skills. Great tackler. Just an all-around player.
And we're going to go down to the sidelines now for Mercedes Owens. After this play, there's the snap. Davidson will hand off to McDaniel, and McDaniel is buried. Nice pursuit of the football, and a big loss on the play as McDaniel is dropped in the backfield as we go down to the sideline and Mercedes Owens.
Hey guys, I'm down here with Dorian Banks, a former Tennessee commit, but you decided to open back up the recruiting thing. You're exploring other options. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking UCF, Kentucky, MTSU, Tennessee Tech, and a few other schools. Just looking to keep everything open and see what happens on signing day.
So you've got options, but how are you enjoying this? Right now, your team's on top. You're winning 7-0.
Yeah, it's always feeling good whenever you're up on top and winning, so I guess it's a good experience so far as the game started.
Can you tell us a little bit about Blue Gray as a whole off of the field, hanging out with some of the NFL veterans and coaches?
That's a great experience to be able to come far away from home and just be able to get out and get it. What am I trying to say? Trying to get more comfortable with the players that are around you and just get comfortable with them and grow as either a person and a player on the field as the NFL coaches.
Well, I know, Dorian, you're itching to get back out there. You said you're supposed to be on the field right now, so we'll let you go. Back to you, Ryan.
All right, Mercedes, good job down there on the sidelines. And a big hit on one of the last plays by Gavin Lively of the East squad as he decleated one of the receivers from the West. And the West is looking at a 3rd down and 10 here from the East 39-yard line. Kevin Davidson out of the gun. They go play action on 3rd down. Planting, firing, caught. Farrar makes one guy miss. Will not get the first down. Zach Farrar from South Lake Carroll High School, another catch. This time he'll be brought down short. It'll be a 4th and about 4 coming up. And the West right around that area of the field, Sheldon, where it looks like they'll leave the offense on the field.
Got to go for it. It's a blue-gray game. You got to go for it. Take chances. You got tons of athletes on the sidelines. Put them to use. Put them out there on the field, and let's see what they can go do.
They picked up a 4th and 12 earlier that led to a 1st and goal situation where they eventually fumbled. Let's see what they can do here on 4th and about 4.
You're probably going to go away from Gavin Lively again.
Davidson looking, has a man open, incomplete. Looking for Justice Bean. Could not connect with him, and the West will turn it over on downs. He was open, just unable to connect.
Would it have been a first if he caught it?
I think he would have had some room to run it for a first, as the coverage was late in getting out there. So now let's see what the East can do. DeAndre Clayton had his first series as quarterback the last time out, but he didn't get a chance to do much with the East backed up inside their own 5-yard line, and now he'll start the offense up at the 33. And the lines judge coming in from the sideline to see what all the commotion is about in between the hash marks. We've got about 2 minutes left before halftime. The East leading the West 7-0 here in the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl. And the officials still trying to get things sorted out. Well, I'm not really sure what the stoppage in play is for here. The officials now blowing the whistle, and it appears we're ready to play football. So DeAndre Clayton will be in the shotgun with 3 receivers. On first down from the 33, he will fake the handoff. He'll keep it himself. Breaks the line of scrimmage, breaking a few more tackles and some shifty running by DeAndre Clayton. Has a first down up to the 43-yard line. A nice work in space there by DeAndre Clayton.
Great job changing direction. That's pretty much the game right there. You got to be able to change direction. You got to be able to accelerate and decelerate as quickly as possible. Those are the things college scouts love to see.
DeAndre Clayton, only 6'2", listed at 200 pounds, but that time able to make a first down with his feet. Now he'll go back to throw out to the left. It'll be incomplete and nearly intercepted. Threw it into double coverage there, and
Great
his
play on the
receiver,
ball.
Stephen Palmer, was double covered. It'll be second down. The East has yet to score an offensive touchdown, and they've run very few plays inside West territory, but they have the lead thanks to a James Brown 83-yard fumble return for a touchdown. Second down and 10 from their own 43. The snap back to Clayton. He goes on a straight drop and fires it out left. Nice catch. Nice job to elude a tackle and a first down here for the East as that ball is caught.
Tucker Spears out of Avid Old Farm, South Dakota. He's the only tight end for the East. And he's been getting all the reps during practice. So he's been in a real good position. Coach Banks got to have him, been using him a lot this week. And he does a real good job out there. Does a real good job.
In fact, Tucker's the only tight end on either roster. The West doesn't have anybody listed as a tight end. Clayton back to throw on first down, has some time. Fires one across the middle behind his intended receiver. Incomplete. Looking that time for Tevin Brown from Norton Community, Kansas.
Tight end would have been open too if he sat him right down over the center. 5 yards deep, he was open again.
And I know tight end was your old position with Buffalo and with Nebraska. What'd you like from Tucker in practice this week?
His toughness. I mean, like I said, he wasn't getting tired. He was in good shape. And you like to see that with kids come out here, especially these all-star kids. You want to see them come to these games in shape. You don't want them to come out here, winded after the first two or three drills. And he just had a good motor. Just kept going. Love to see him out there. Great hands, good blocking ability.
And DeAndre Clayton incomplete here, again intended for Tevin Brown. And Clayton bouncing the football in there. It's going to bring up a third down and 10 coming up. Well, this is one of the few times the East has had the football in West territory. Let's see what they can do here on 3rd and 10 coming up. Clayton to the line of scrimmage with 3 receivers and a running back. That's James Robinson to his right, and the snap is back to Clayton with a straight drop. Here comes the pressure, and he's buried. And the football came out at the end. They're going to say that Clayton was down prior to the football coming loose. That was a great job coming off the edge that time by the West.
Number 98, Masson Newton out of Lake Ridge, Oregon. Great motor. He totally dominated that offensive lineman. He pushed him back, bull rushed him, and once there was some separation, he was able to accelerate to the ball carrier and put the quarterback down for a sack.
I think Hunter Medici was in there as well for the West, and if they change the call here, are they going to say this is West football, that was a fumble and recovered by the West squad? Yeah, that's what they're going to say indeed. West football. So the West gets a nice takeaway there. A strip sack by Hunter Medici. And it's West football once again. They're going to start at the East 44-yard line. So with 52 seconds left in the second quarter, the West can tie this football game up. Remember that the East will receive the football to start the third quarter. Here's the snap. Kevin Davidson back to throw. He's got some time. Loading one up deep. Has a man open 5. Caught for a touchdown. Walks the dog. And the ball is caught by Davion Curtis A 44-yard strike from Kevin Davidson. And we have our first offensive touchdown of the game with 44 seconds to play in the second quarter and the extra point still to come. That ball was put right between the 1 and the 2 on Davian Curtis's jersey.
Great play. The secondary, unfortunately, kind of got mixed around, turned around and looked back at the quarterback, lost track of the receiver, and really easy toss and catch there for the quarterback and receiver, making the 6 points on that play.
Dylan Brown with the extra point to tie the game at 7. Here in the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl, our coverage from AT&T Stadium in Arlington on the Impact Football Network will continue in a moment.
Underneath everything we are, underneath everything we do, we are all people, connected, interdependent, united. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
We're tied at 7 here in the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl alongside Sheldon Jackson Jr. I'm Ryan Castle, our entire crew. Here on the SportsGram Network, a presentation of the Impact Football Network here tonight from AT&T Stadium. And getting ready to kick it off, Dylan Brown, after the 44-yard touchdown catch by Davian Curtis from Kevin Davidson. And as you mentioned, Sheldon, some miscommunication in the secondary, but Davidson putting the ball right on the money and taking advantage of that for the touchdown.
Perfect pass, perfect route. Couldn't ask for anything more than that. Again, you like your defensive back to stay on this man a little tougher, but again, still a couple days of practice. Very difficult for some of these guys to adjust such a short practice schedule, but these are athletes, young aspiring athletes. They need to go ahead and just let it out there and do what they can.
Lawrence Brown on the return on a short kickoff. And he's got a nice return up close to the 40-yard line, and that's where the East will start. We've got 22 seconds or so to play here in the second quarter, and there's a flag down on the play back around where the kickoff took place. This might be some type of offsides against the kicking team. Well, a nice thing for these players to be able to play at this stadium, the home of the Dallas Cowboys, and not only that, but home of some of the premier college football games over the last half decade or so. Of course, the first college football playoff national championship game played here last January between Ohio State and Oregon. The several high-profile regular season college football games played here every year. DeAndre Clayton under center on first down, and they're going to hand it off. And this is Robinson with a nice cutback across midfield, still on his feet, and has a first down to the west 45-yard line. Nice strong run there by James Robinson for 11.
He looked a little frustrated. He was trying to cut back, and some of his own linemen went in his way. He'd still be running right now. But good offensive play altogether. The East O-line has got the size. They just got to get a little mad, get a little pissed off, and go push people around. They definitely have the ability and the talent level.
And a timeout has been called by East. That is their final timeout of the half with 14 seconds to play. And so this will come down to one or two more plays, and that'll be it. So there will be some players here today. We mentioned earlier a couple of players currently committed to Texas Tech. And Tech plays Baylor here on a yearly basis at AT&T Stadium. Texas A&M playing Arkansas here as well. There's always the Cowboy Kickoff Classic as well at the beginning of the year. So a lot of good college football along with the Dallas Cowboys as well. Here's Clayton to throw. That'll be incomplete. Intended over the left side, that time to Caleb Sheets from Meigs, Ohio. 6 foot, 190-pound receiver. That'll bring up second down and 10 coming up. We're down to the last few plays of this first half. Tied at 7 between the West and the East. And Clayton will go back to throw. Pocket is moved to the right, throws on the run. That'll be caught. And the receiver not able to get out of bounds. Or no, they will stop the clock. The pass was caught there by David Barnett from Shawnee, Ohio. And so let's see here. What are they going to call? The East is out on the field, believing this is halftime. Still no official word from the public address announcer, who's basically running things down on the field. That will be halftime, it appears. And so we'll go to halftime with the East 7 and the West 7 here in the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl from AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Our coverage here on the Impact Football Network will continue in a moment.
Wake the sun, tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. I'm going to find some peace of mind. Wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
Get the guys to the best advantage where they can really show their talents. But the best thing about it is that everybody that's associated with this organization has the best interest of the kids at heart.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Coach, and best of luck to you next half. All right. Back to you guys.
All right, Mercedes, thank you very much. Here from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, I'm Ryan Castle, along with Sheldon Jackson Jr. and Mercedes Owens handling things down on the sidelines. And right now, tied at 7, the East and the West. It's been a good first half. Sheldon, what stuck out for you through these first 32 minutes of play?
Some of that defensive attacks that we're getting from the East, Glenwood, Williams is doing a great job. Mr. Lively's doing a great job in that secondary for the East. It's coming up and showing that he's not just a coverage secondary kid. He's actually a kid that's not afraid to come up and deliver a blow. And I think that type of behavior, that type of play is what the coaches want to see, is what colleges want to see. And I think maybe his stock may have gone up because of that first half.
Both teams back in the locker room right now. We're tied at 7 at halftime, and certainly both coaching staffs and certainly many of these players, even though this is an all-star game, very much want to win this game. And you heard one of our interviews earlier in the broadcast say what pride he took in winning this Blue-Gray All-American Bowl 41-7 a couple of years ago. And so certainly these players, these coaching staffs want to come away with a victory here today, and they're back in the locker room trying to figure out how to do just that here from AT&T Stadium in Arlington. We'll take a break. We'll come back. More of our coverage here at halftime, the East 7 and the West 7 here on the Impact Football Network.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
Get your ass out. You're not in here. Yes, I am. Move. Give it to him hard. No. Ow.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why you stabbing me with it? No.
They want to help,
Ow.
but don't know how. Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
But it would be safe to keep your distance until there's no secret that makes you smile. Reliable sources say that chicken soup has found their way out of this.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Listen now, can you hear the bluebird
Take my hand and start a brand new day. And together as one we'll start to see some change.
Underneath everything we are, underneath everything we do, we are all people, connected, interdependent, united. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
Wake the sun, tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. I'm going to find some peace of mind. Wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
Time here at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl put on by the Impact Football Network. We're happy to have you with us on our coverage. It's the East 7 and the West 7. A defensive touchdown by the East in the first half, and then an offensive score by the West on a touchdown pass from Kevin Davidson to Davion Curtis to tie the game late in the second half. So tied at 7 here at the Impact Football Network, the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl. The team's still in the locker room, waiting to come back out onto the field for the start of the third quarter. We'll come back. We'll continue our coverage. We'll get you ready for the start of the third quarter and the kickoff of the second half. Our coverage here from AT&T Stadium on the Impact Football Network will continue in a moment.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
Get your ass out. You're not sitting here. Yes, I am. Move. Give it to him hard.
No.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why are you stabbing me with it? No.
They want to help,
Ow.
but don't know how. Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
But it would be safe to keep your distance until the little secret that makes you smile. Why do sources say that chicken soup has found their way out of this?
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Bring this one.
Oh, listen now. Can you hear the bluebirds? Oh, look up now. Can you feel the sun? Whoa. 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 Can you feel the sun?
Take my hand and start a brand new day. And together as one we'll start to see some change.
Underneath everything we are, underneath everything we do, we are all people, connected, interdependent, united. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
Wake the sun, tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. I'm going to find some peace of mind. Wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
Thanks for joining us tonight on the Impact Football Network. We're at AT&T Stadium in Arlington alongside Sheldon Jackson Jr. I'm Ryan Castle and our entire crew. The East 7 and the West 7 as we get ready to start the third quarter. Both teams back out of the locker rooms. And Coach Mark McMillan of the West, Coach George Teague of the East. Sheldon, what do you imagine both of those two guys said to their respective teams during halftime?
Great job so far. Just bring up the effort. Bring up more effort, guys. You guys are all the all-stars from all over your respective towns. Let's go out there and let's cut back on the drop balls. Let's cut back on the fumbles. Let's take care of the football, and let's get the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, were you at all surprised? I know I was in that first half, just how many turnovers both of these offenses committed.
No, not at all. Because, again, we talked about it earlier. 2 days of practice is just not enough for any offense in this country to be oiled, to get it all, to work out all the kinks and to hit on all cylinders. So, not surprised by all the turnovers, but hopefully this second half, these guys will be able to iron out those kinks and be able to produce a better product on that football field.
Now, we did see a nice offensive spark from the West there at the end of the second quarter as Kevin Davidson hooked up with Davian Curtis for a long touchdown to tie the game at 7 after the East had an 83-yard fumble return for a touchdown by linebacker James Brown as he recovered a fumble and went untouched into the end zone, and that has been the only scoring so far of this Blue-Gray All-American Bowl. We've seen all three quarterbacks for the East on the roster. We've seen 2 out of the 3 quarterbacks on the West side. We have not seen Peyton Snell yet from Scurry-Rosser High School, which is right here close to the Metroplex in DFW here in Texas. And as we start the third quarter of play, it will be the East receiving the football. The West squad won the toss and received in the first half. And so back deep.
Dorian Banks.
For the East will be Dorian Banks.
Out of Sevier County.
And let's see here, I believe.
Tennessee.
Back there also, yep, Dorian Banks, you're right.
23 is the Fairchild young man from out of Papillion, La Vista South, out of Nebraska.
And here comes the return from the 10 up to the 20, left side 30. Nice blocking at the point of attack, and the return up to the 36-yard line. Nicely done here by the East. They'll have good starting field position on this first drive of the third quarter. That return by Ray Wilson from Junction City, Kansas. He's a defensive back for George Teague. And it's interesting, George Teague, the old defensive back for the Cowboys, might be trying to say something. Hey, give those defensive backs a chance to return the ball in the kicking game. I don't think George returned any kicks in his time. There's the handoff on first down. Big hole, 40, 45, midfield, and that is Lawrence Brown on the carry. Boy, nice carry it is, deep into West territory on the first play of the third quarter.
And that's what the East has to do. They have to establish themselves and establish some dominance in the running game. The passing will come. The receivers are still good on the East side. But if they can keep moving the ball like that, moving the chains like that with real strong running plays, the East can lock this game away.
The left tackle Noah Johnson from Fayetteville, Arkansas, with a seal block right at the point of attack to give Brown the room necessary for the big gain to the West 41-yard line. The East trying to retake the lead here at the start of the third quarter. They'll again hand to Brown. This time he tries the right side and will gain a couple to the 39-yard line. It'll bring up a second down. And right now for the East, it's Deuce Wallace, the verbal commitment to Vanderbilt in the game at quarterback. And we heard earlier in his interview with Mercedes down on the sideline, he will be an early enrollee at Vanderbilt in the spring. So a chance for him to get in there quickly and maybe perhaps compete for a starting position. Vanderbilt's offense was not very good this year, but they do have a very good defense there in the SEC. And after this play, we'll go down to the sideline as Mercedes has another interview, and a timeout is going to be called prior to the snap. Let's go downstairs to Mercedes Owens.
Hey guys, I'm down here with Emmett Gooden, another Tennessee boy, and I hear that your mom made the trip down here with you. She's supporting you all weekend. What's it like to have mom down here?
It's fun to have a great support system like my mom. She never missed a game, so it's fun.
And now I know this is not your first rodeo when it comes to All-Star games. How do you feel about the Blue-Gray system in the All-American Bowl game? You having fun?
I was looking forward to playing Cowboys Stadium. Unfortunately, I hurt myself, so I'm just enjoying this trip.
All right, just soak it up. That's all you can do, right? And have you had any good time with some of the NFL veterans off the field and getting that mentorship?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Seeing that championship ring, that was pretty fun. It's a coach over there, coach for New England. I mean, he a ex-player for New England. It was fun looking at that championship ring. So
that ring has to be some motivation for sure. And you just committed to Mississippi State a day before you got here. What made that decision for you?
My relationship with Coach Dan Mullen and the players, and I feel like that's the right fit for me.
All right, well, Emmett, best of luck to you. Hope you heal up soon so you can get out there for Mississippi State. Back to you guys.
All right, Mercedes, thanks. Emmett Goodwin downstairs with Mercedes Owens. And Goodwin letting us know he'll be headed to Mississippi State. He'll be a Bulldog for Coach Dan Mullen there in the SEC West. And right now the East driving the football well. This is the first possession of the third quarter. They've got a second down and about 6 coming up. And Lawrence Brown has had a couple of nice runs on this drive.
Yeah, the West is definitely starting to show some signs of fatigue in that front four. Good players, don't get me wrong, but it seems like the East has found a little chink in their armor.
And here is a toss left, a nice cut up the field by Anthony Riley Jr. for a first down. Nice carry there inside the 15-yard line and brought down at the 12. It'll be first and 10 there.
Sorry about that. Coach Banks seems to found the right recipe. And if he keeps this tempo up and keeps running that ball through between those A and B gaps, they should be scoring another touchdown really quick right now.
They try to retake the lead. We're tied at 7 right now, just underway in the third quarter. I left under center Wallace. He will hand off to Riley Jr. Lost his footing at the point of attack. Gains a couple of yards to around the 10. It'll be second down from there coming up for this East offense. So the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl, while it doesn't have perhaps the notoriety of maybe an Under Armour or an Army All-American, there are still some very good players here. Deuce Wallace is one of them, committed to Vanderbilt. Emmett Gooden another one. And now the handoff to Riley Jr. Nice job to move over a guy at the 4, and Riley Jr. scores it.
Beautiful run on contact. Legs never stopped moving. That's what you teach running backs when they are knee-high, how to play that position. Great job.
Touchdown, Anthony Riley Jr., and the East has gone back up on top. The extra point is still to come, and Anthony Riley Jr. lowered his shoulder at the 4 and pulverized the defender there, and then walked the dog to the end zone for the touchdown, and now Jackson Terry will tack on the extra point. The snap, and before the kick, whistles. And a false start here against the East will move the PAT back. So Anthony Riley Jr., a touchdown run to give East the lead. It's the first offensive score for the East in the game. And it came primarily thanks to Lawrence Brown and Riley Jr. on the ground. Now a 25-yard extra point here by Terry, and it is good right down the middle. 14-7, the lead now for the East. 11-12 to play in the third quarter. Our coverage from AT&T Stadium will continue right now on the Impact Football Network. We're glad to have you with us. So we'll keep it right here at the break. And a nice job there by the East and Coach George Teague, his team making a statement to start this third quarter as they march the football right down the field and score it.
Sometimes one of the easier things it seems you can do with a bunch of kids when you don't have as much time is to run the football. Play the game the way it was originally designed almost. Just line them up, and we're going to run in between the tackles and see what we can get.
That was the MO on that drive for the East. Lawrence Brown with a couple of big runs, and then Anthony Riley Jr. from Parkview, Missouri, finishing it off for the East. And now Jackson Terry will get ready to kick it off deep. Tevin McDaniel and Morian Walker will be back for the West, along with Mike Green. So they're three running backs back deep. The East squad in the blue jerseys, the West squad in the gray. Jackson Terry ready with the ensuing kickoff. And here it comes, high end over end. It'll be taken by McDaniel from the 10. And coming up the middle, he gets to the 20. Nice cut block there by Green. And McDaniel will get up to the 25. Nice return there. And it'll be West football starting at the 25-yard line. Tevin McDaniel, listed as a running back for the West from Heritage Hall, Oklahoma. 6 foot, 225 pounds, so he's a bigger back, and he has shown some flashes in this game of being a guy that can be the feature back of an offense and certainly can be a threat in the return game.
That's what coaches want to see at the next level. All-purpose back, willing to take the ball, take snaps about 30 times a game, and keep coming, just like the Energizer Bunny. Just keep coming.
And McDaniel will take the carry, or the handoff, I should say, here on first down. Carries it up to the 32-yard line for a 7-yard pickup. Peyton Snell, quarterback at 6'3", 190 pounds from Scurry Rosser, Texas, is now in the game for the first time. Number 5. And he huddles up the offense. They'll bring him to the line of scrimmage at the 32-yard line, needing 3 for a first down. And the running back in the backfield will be David Seal, along with McDaniel to his right. Now motion David out of the backfield to the slot. The snap, and now they'll hand it off to Warren, sweeping the left side. Warren with a first down carry up to the 40 before he's wrestled out of bounds. Nice run there by Shannon Warren from Samuel Clemens, Texas. And a first down carry. Actually gave him the 42-yard line, so a 10-yard pickup there for Warren.
Good run, good sweep to the outside. The linebackers looked like they had the pin on them, looked like they had the dime on them, but it just a little one step or two too short, too slow.
Here comes the West, trailing 14-7 here in the third quarter. They come to the line of scrimmage with 4 receivers and a running back. And they will hand it off. McDaniel lost the football. A zone read play. Miscommunication between the quarterback and the running back, and the East has it right back. A takeaway by the East defense. And they're going to have good starting field position here. And I couldn't tell who that was.
Oh, I know who that was. That was that young man that scored that returning touchdown, number 48, James Brown, the hardest working man on this football field today. Out of Lafayette, Louisiana. He was standing right there with his arms around the running back while the quarterback was trying to make a decision whether to give him the ball or not. Great play by the East. Now they have a chance to move the ball. Maybe definitely in scoring position. They can definitely increase this lead.
Just went up 14-7. They've got the football right back. Wallace under center and an eye right with 2 receivers, and he'll go play action on first down. Rolls to the right, throws on the run. That'll be caught at the 20-yard line.
Spears.
Wrestled out of bounds, and Spears with a catch, the tight end. First down catch there and a gain of 15.
And if you watch football long enough, you understand if you can run the ball effectively, it's easy to throw the ball against anyone. So that's play action was the epitome of great success, running the ball for the East. Get the tight end open up on a play action pass, just toss and catch.
Yeah, you're right about that. That was executed to perfection right there by the East. And this time they will hand it off on a stretch play, and this is going nowhere fast. The handoff went to Tank Love, and Love buried in the backfield there. A big loss on the play, back to the 24-yard line, a 5-yard loss.
Almost looked as if the offensive line just kind of gave up on that play. Almost forgot they were playing a football game.
Kind of a slow developing play as well. They try to look like a stretch play to the outside. Now Tank Love will come out. And in the backfield will be James Robinson. Wallace will be in the gun. Second and about 15. From the 24-yard line, Wallace back to throw, batted up into the air and intercepted.
Nice play.
A wonderful play made by one of the West linebackers. That's number 32. As we scan our roster for that individual.
Corey Selinski out of J. Sarah, California. It's good linebacker size, 6'3", 220. Great play. He tipped the ball up. And he kept his concentration with the ball still in the air. He came down with an interception for the West.
The rush of turnovers continues for both teams. Already 2 now in the third quarter. And that was a wonderful play made by Selinski to bat that ball up in the air. And then, as you said, Sheldon, to have the concentration to come down with it. Now Snell will flip it out into the backfield. Nice catch made behind him by Walker. And Walker will have 5 yards up to the 20-yard line. Orion Walker on the pass from Peyton Snell for 5 yards.
Number 30, taking the saddle.
Here comes the west of the line of scrimmage, a 2nd and about 4 coming up here. 14-7, the East with the lead, 9 minutes to go here in the third.
I look for the West to make some attacks down the field with the ball. We haven't really moved the ball down the field. We had some success early in the game. Now they got to get the ball down the field. They wanted to really stretch this East defense out and open up those running lanes again for them.
And a false start penalty here against the offense is going to move this back. And yeah, you're right about that. Justice Bean showed some flashes there in that first half. So did Zach Farrar, who had a couple of nice catches. Davian Curtis showed he's a deep threat, but other than the touchdown to Curtis, they have really not threatened down the field. Let's see if they maybe open up the offense, now trailing 14-7. Caleb Pitts will go wide to the left in a 3-receiver look. Now they'll make it 4 receivers. Tight slot on the left. And a handoff here on 2nd down up to the 25-yard line, and that was Walker on the carry.
Good tackle by Dalton, number 98, Dalton Clark from Meigs, Ohio. Shed the block really well of that offensive lineman, and was standing right there for the running back and was able to bring him down to the ground. It was a real good play.
Well, this is a big play right here for the West. They've got to get a first down, keep this drive going about halfway through this third quarter. Out of the shotgun is Peyton Snell. 3rd and 6. Throwing right, complete, first down. Nice play made there by Thomas Reed III from Radford, Hawaii. We heard from earlier on our broadcast. He has a first down reception up to the 32. He's looking at San Diego State, among others. Some other West Coast schools as well, including the University of Hawaii.
I believe he was excited for any school close to some water.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. Here's a first down play. Snell back to throw, completed his last pass. Now he'll roll out to the right, and a holding penalty comes in from the backside as Snell walks out of bounds. He's going to lose a couple of yards on the play, and that's going to give us an opportunity to go downstairs to Mercedes Owens. Mercedes?
Hey everyone, I've got Nick Starkle down here, and he just recently decommitted from Oklahoma State. He's got a lot of options out there, but he's spending his weekend here with Blue Gray football, having some fun at the All-American Bowl. Nick, how is it going so far?
You know, it's going pretty well other than the score of the game right now. It was a great weekend. Great athletes out here. It's just really fun.
Now tell us what it's been like to hang out with some of these NFL veterans. Is it encouraging? Have they been mentoring you, getting you on the right path?
Oh, definitely. They're straightening us out right now. You know, they're always encouraging us, always giving us words of encouragement, and it's really awesome just to learn from them because they have so much knowledge of the game.
And so you're a local here. You're from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Do you have a lot of support up there in the stands?
Yeah, I got a couple of people up there. A couple of my friends from school and my parents are up there, so it's awesome.
You're number 1 of fans. Did they make any T-shirts for you? I bet they did.
They're wearing the jersey.
They have to represent, right? Well, hopefully the West Side can turn this around and get things going. Best of luck to you, Nick.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Mercedes. And Nick Starkle from Argyle Liberty Christian High School. As you heard Mercedes mention, just recently decommitted from Oklahoma State, and he has reopened his recruiting. I believe Texas Tech is looking at him. Coach Cliff Kingsbury would love to get him to Lubbock. Nice run that last time by Mike Green. They're close to a first down on 2nd down, and now Snell will fake the handoff, keep it himself, and have a first down into East Territory. Finally brought down at the 47-yard line. A gain of 11 there for Peyton Snell with his feet.
Good job by number 31, Javarius Twilley, on that tackle. Without that tackle, Peyton's running in the end zone.
Snell has some speed, there's no doubt about it. He's a bigger guy also. He's listed at 6'3", 190. He might be a bigger than that. He's another one of those West quarterbacks who has good size. So first down at the East 48-yard line. And a handoff once again to Green. Started left, cut back right up the middle, and got to the 45 for a gain of 3. And Mike Green, I think you saw it in the shot after his last big carry. even in an All-American Bowl such as this, not a lot riding on this game, obviously. This is an exhibition, but just the passion that he runs with, and I'm sure you saw that this week in practice.
Yes, sure did. Mike Green, he's hitting on all cylinders at practice. He's never taken a play off, at least as far as I can tell. I'm excited to see a young man like that with that type of work ethic, and I'm sure there's going to be some coaches and some coaching scouts that are excited to see that as well.
Snell will throw on 2nd and 7 into double coverage and nearly intercepted. Intended there on the play for Thomas Reed III, and that was maybe not the best decision there from Peyton Snell. He'll be lucky to see a 3rd down coming up.
And once again, Gavin Lively just got a nose for the ball, a nose for the game. Almost came away with an interception there.
He had the big hit earlier in the first half as well and has turned in some other nice plays in the secondary for the East. So big play here for the West, down 14-7 with 4:28 to go in the 3rd. And a 3rd down coming up in about 8 to go. Snell out of a pistol. Play action, rolling to the right, good protection. Pointing downfield, now he'll carry it himself inside the 40, and he lost the football. There are penalty flags down on the field. He had it stripped away. The question is, was he down by contact? The second question, I guess, is what are these penalty flags all about? That hit was provided
number
there
37,
by the East.
Roderick Napper. That's not his first hit of the game. He's been bringing that helmet to work today, and he's been laying shoulder pads and exchanging paint with these West football players. Secondary for the East is very aggressive. They've been showing great coverage ability as well as great run support. And those two are things that coaches like to see in the next level. Because you're definitely going to be called upon to do that on both when you get to the college, no matter what level you play, Division I, Division II, Division I AA. You got to be able to cover as well as run support.
The officials trying to get everything sorted out. There were 2 penalty flags on the play, and it appears they were on the East. I didn't see the indication. But I'm guessing it had something to do with that hit by Napper. And so this is going to move the football deep into East territory. It'll be a 1st down for the West at the 25-yard line.
Maybe we'll find out later what that one was about. And it could have been the fact that Broderick hit him with the crown of his helmet. That could have been the issue. I think that's something that's being kind of frowned upon and outlawed in the NFL, in the college ranks. So it carries over down to the high school level.
And, yep, that will be a 1st down. And it's a good opportunity for us to maybe talk about that. Sheldon, you're a head coach yourself in Fort Worth. What are some of the techniques you're now teaching your kids about tackling?
Well, one of the things we have to do is get our guys to bend their knees a lot more. And you got to see what you hit. You want to hit with your forehead, and you want to use your shoulder pads more than anything else, but you definitely got to see what you're hitting. I think in that instance right there, Roger Napper, he had his head down. He was looking more at the turf before he made his contact, and that's a dangerous position to be in. Especially with all the hype and the issues with concussions nowadays in the NFL, you got to be sure to teach your kids properly how to tackle. And one of the ways you do that is you teach them how to use their shoulder pads more and not the top of their heads.
Nice run there by Peyton Snell on 1st down. Gained about 4, maybe 5.
See, the West is threatening a little bit here.
Well, they've had some trouble in the red zone. They've had some drives stall out around this area of the field. Let's see if they can punch it into the end zone. Snell back to throw. Fade pattern to the end zone. Man open. Touchdown. Thomas Reed III all alone. And an easy pitch and catch there from Peyton Snell for the touchdown. And now the West an extra point away from tying this game again at 14.
The West has found a little chink in the armor of the East secondary, it seems. That ball was thrown against the same DB that gave up the touchdown in the first half of the game.
Dylan Brown will try to tie the game. The extra point is good. And with 4:10 to go here in the 3rd quarter, The West has tied the game again. A touchdown pass from Peyton Snell to Thomas Reed III. And here at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, our score is now the West 14 and the East 14. It's been a good ball game. The offenses have struggled a bit in the turnover department. That's maybe to be expected with only a couple of days worth of practice time. And that time, Peyton Snell with a beautiful throw on the money to Thomas Reed III for an easy walk-in touchdown.
Same problem that secondary had with the previous touchdown that was in the first half. He got deep in the coverage, turned around, started looking at the quarterback and see where he was looking. By that time, he had forgot and lost place where his responsibility was, and that was that receiver that was behind him in the end zone.
So now the East will go back deep to return the ensuing kickoff. And they've got several defensive backs back there waiting to possibly return. Dorian Banks is the deep guy.
Now, that's number 23, Tristan Fairchild of Nebraska.
You're right about that. Yep.
He was an exciting young man to watch during practice. He's very humble and a very exciting guy. He ran fast. He worked hard. He didn't take anything. It didn't appear as though he took anything for granted. So I look forward to see what he does with this ball in his hands.
Here's the kickoff by Brown, and we will get a chance to see. Nope. Banks cuts him off, and he'll return it to the 20. Hold of the 25, spinning out of a tackle and finally dropped down at the 29-yard line. 19-yard return there by Dorian Banks. And with 4:02 to go here in the third quarter, the East will have it back. We're tied at 14 here in the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl. We're glad to have you with us here on the Impact Football Network, a presentation of the SportsGram Network. And it'll be first down for the East from its own 29-yard line. And under center now for the East will be Harley Hazlitt. And he will hand off on first down to Robinson. Robinson breaking the line of scrimmage up to the 34-yard line. Nice 5-yard pickup there for James Robinson on first down.
It's a good tackle by number 35, Alexander Hunter out of Liberty, Arizona. Good job skating over there, taking on blocks and shedding the blocks by the O-lineman and just making a great play.
Hazlitt under center, and a straight eye, and they'll hand it off again to Robinson, and Robinson brought down pretty quickly. Not much of a gain there, up to the 36, and that'll be it. It'll bring up a third down and about 3. Well, James Robinson getting a lot of carries from Illinois, RFKD Lutheran High School, 5'11", 215-pounder.
I gotta also remind you, keep an eye on number 65, Tiano T. Alavia out of Odair, Washington. He really surprised me during the practices as far as D-line is concerned. He was a very fast, very strong man, and he did a real good job disrupting plays for the offense.
And before third down and 3, a penalty against the offense, a false start. Might have been an illegal snap against the center, or a snap infraction, I should say. Harley Hazlitt from Abilene, Kansas at the controls right now for the East. We're tied at 14, nearing the end of the third quarter here from AT&T Stadium. And let's see what George Teague and Tony Banks have drawn up here on third and about 8 now. 2 receiver look and 2 tight ends.
Got to go to the air.
Hazlitt out of the gun with a snap back, straight drop, pressure, and he is buried. Nice job by the West right there to get into the backfield. And the defensive line, Hunter Medici again. Another sack on the play for Medici, and it is time to punt.
He had some help on that one. Again, number 65, Tiano T. Alavia out of Odair, Washington, was also in on that play.
I'm glad you're the one saying that, because I'm not sure I'd be able to get that one out.
Well, last night at the jersey awarding, he made sure to mention that, come up and talk to me and make sure I was saying his name correctly.
Yeah, I bet he's very used to that being mispronounced. Here's the punt by Terry, high spiraling kick. Well, he's really got a leg. And this will be recovered now by McDaniel. Nice crackback block a couple of times here by the West. And spun out of bounds is the West return man. That was not McDaniel on the return that time. That was Broderick Jones. And Jones wrestled out of bounds up across the 30-yard line at around the 32. And that's where the West will take over. With 43 seconds left here in the third quarter, we are tied at 14 all. And for the West, it'll be Peyton Snell back in at quarterback. He led them on a touchdown drive on their last possession. And a zone read play, they will hand it off to David Ciel. And Ciel sweeping the right side, gets up across the line of scrimmage, brought down at around the 34-yard line. Gain of 2. And actually give him about 4 on that play. 4 or 5.
Not enough push up front for the defense for the East team right now. The West is kind of just dominated the front line at that time. They've got to do more. They got to keep doing what's been working for them. They got to stunt those defensive linemen. And see, they made some adjustments to the secondary. Hopefully that'll hold up for them for the rest of the game.
The West kind of just walking to the line of scrimmage. Now they're ready to go. 4 receivers. Snell quickly to throw. Has a man open. That's going to be caught. Nice move inside here by the receiver. This is Zach Farrar. He's got a first down up across the 40 and brought down around the 45-yard line. That's a guy that if he can get the ball in space, he can be dangerous in making guys miss.
Real deceptive. He kind of lulls you to sleep. He kind of comes off the line a little slow. You think he's not a part of the play, and before you know it, he's full speed. He's down behind you, and it's a big gain. So Zach's a real good, he's an exceptional athlete.
Snell from the gun, 2 running backs this time. And they'll hand it off to Cial, and he does a nice job to get out of the arms of a couple of would-be tacklers. And then is finally brought down in the backfield, a loss on that play.
Number 65, Claudio Martin from Rockhurst, Kansas, in on that tackle. Again, doing a great job taking on blocks and shedding blocks and getting to the ball carrier so they can get a tackle for loss. Real good job.
It's a loss of 3 on that particular play. So 2nd and 13 coming up. And a penalty flag here. I believe Farrar might have lined up. Well, let's see here. They might get a timeout first. Into the third quarter it is. Into the third quarter from AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Our score, the East 14, the West 14. Our coverage here on the Impact Football Network will continue in a moment.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
We're back here at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Alongside Sheldon Jackson Jr., I'm Ryan Castle. We've also got Mercedes Owens down on the sideline handling our interview. She's done a great job tonight. As we go to the fourth quarter, it's West football. We're tied at 14, and the West have it. And a 2nd down and 13 from their own 43-yard line. And Peyton Snell from Scurry-Rosser High School back to throw. Has a man open, caught at the 25. Walk-in touchdown. 54 yards. And that was caught, let's see here, I believe by Shannon Warren, the running back. I don't know if that was correct or not. Sheldon, did you catch the number of the receiver?
No, I did not. I was looking at the defensive back who got beat on that play. I apologize.
Oh, that's all right. No, it might have been Farrar. And after the extra point, Mercedes will be down on the field with one of the players from the East. The West has just taken the lead on a long touchdown throw by Peyton Snell. once again, some blown assignments in the secondary by the east side. Here's the snap, and the kick is up. It goes off of the upright. It is no good. There is a penalty flag, and so before we go downstairs to Mercedes, let's see what this penalty flag is.
Offside from the defense, it looks like number 91.
Yep, so that is a costly penalty. That means the West will be able to retry this point after. So Dylan Brown, who just put one off the left upright, will get another chance here. That would have been a big play in this game, with the West up by 6 and trying to make it 7 with the extra point. And they might have been offsides again. This time the kick by Brown is up. It is good. That'll be offsides, and this time it'll be declined. And we'll take this opportunity to go downstairs to Mercedes Owens. Mercedes?
Hey guys, I'm down here with Donovan Campbell, Louisiana boy, and it looks like he's staying close to home, an LSU commit. So what sealed the deal for Louisiana State University?
LSU is somewhere I always wanted to go, and that's my hometown school, and then it'll be a great opportunity to play in front of my hometown.
So much success with that program recently. It can't be bad knowing you're going to represent the Tigers.
Wait, I didn't hear your question.
It can't be a bad deal representing the Tigers, right? They've had a lot of success in that program.
Oh, yeah, definitely. They had a lot of success, and Coach Mile, I'm glad he stayed, and he's a great coach.
And talk about your experience here this weekend. Do you know any of the guys you're out there playing with?
No, I actually didn't know any of them when I first came, but now we're pretty cool because we're on the same team playing together.
Making friends. Well, that's great to hear. I hope you're having a blast with Blue-Gray football at the All-American Bowl. Best of luck to you out there. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Mercedes. Donovan Campbell, a commit to LSU on the offensive line, and we'll have a chance to block for one of the best running backs in college football next year. That would be Leonard Fournette. Heard him talk about Les Miles. His future at LSU was up in the air right at the end of the regular season, but he'll be back next year as the coach of the Tigers. Here's the kickoff. It will push Robinson back to the goal line. He will pick it up for the East. He's going to run it out, and he'll get to the 10, breaks the 15-yard line, and is brought down at the 17. Nice return there by Robinson, kind of turning chicken feathers into chicken soup there, and that's where the East will start.
Good return. Looked a little scary on the tackle, but he got up and walked away and shaking it off. Real good.
So the East will start down 21-14 now. The West has taken the lead. A couple of touchdown passes by Peyton Snell. And we are in the fourth quarter here from the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl. The East down 21-14. And they've got the football starting at the 17-yard line. The handoff on first down. And not much there for the running back. Maybe a gain of a yard, and that'll be it. I believe that was Tank Love on the carry. And he got a yard. It'll bring up 2nd and 9. Number 40 made the tackle for the West. And let's take a look here. That's Jeremiah Pritchard from Silverado, Nevada. Here's the snap. Handoff by Hazlitt. Nice play here by Tank Love. He is stood up, though, right around the line of scrimmage. He got the carry. He got to the 20.
Gunnar Blix out of R.A. Long, Washington, number 44, was there to deliver a blow and let Tank know that he's here to play football just as much as he is.
It'll be 3rd and 7 coming up here for the East, and a big play if they want to keep this possession going, as they find themselves trailing now by 7. It's been a competitive ball game here so far from AT&T Stadium. And this time Hazlitt will keep it. Spins out of one would-be tackle, gets a nice block, gets outside the tackle box, and now will be drugged down. Well, I think you're right about that. I think the West just committed a face mask penalty, and instead of this being a big loss,
could be first down.
And let's wait and see what the penalty is. Once we see what that's all about, we'll go downstairs to Mercedes Owens. We do have an injury timeout on the field, so that gives us the opportunity now to go downstairs to Mercedes.
Mercedes, here we come to you. Come on, hang on just a second. Come to you. Okay, we're going to wait.
Apparently not. We'll wait on that. The player we're getting ready to interview taking a knee along with everybody else on the field, so a good show of sportsmanship here by all the players, and kind of hard to tell who is down on the field over there. It's somebody for the west side, and that player is now up and appears to be walking off under his own power.
Looks like it's Jeremiah Pritchard.
Yep, you're right about that. The guy that made
Nevada.
the tackle. And we still have not figured out this penalty situation. We'll go downstairs to Mercedes while the officials figure it out. Mercedes?
Hey guys, I'm down here with Patton Snell, quarterback for the West Side, and this half alone, he's thrown 2 touchdown passes. Are you feeling good out there, having some fun?
Feeling great. It's real fun out there, just having a good team like this and this big atmosphere, this big stadium. I mean, it's nice to showcase our skills and just play, have fun.
And what a lot of people don't realize is that you don't know everyone out there. You're playing with a bunch of new faces, new friends, but you're able to put it all together. How's it been?
It's been tough. I've had to come. I'm real, I don't know, man. It's real tough for me playing with people I don't know, but just from everybody being, I guess, good and good people. I mean, it's getting easier. I mean, as long as we go on, so. It's all good.
It's all good, and it has to be. Your team has taken the lead. At halftime, you were just tied up, and now you're really taking over the ball game. So it seems like you've had some success out there. Now, off the field this weekend, what has this experience been like for you?
It's been real cool. I mean, I've never been really outside of my school playing with people I don't ever know. So, I mean, it's getting me ready for college and different atmosphere, like I said before. I mean, it's all good.
It's all good. I think that's the general consensus here. Well, Patton, get out there and score some touchdowns. All right, back to you guys.
All right, Mercedes, it's all good up here as well. And it's been all good for the west side here in the third quarter and in the second half. Here we have a
false start in the secondary with Tank Love in the backfield. Back him up.
And this drive was kept alive, by the way, by a face mask penalty that we referenced just before we went downstairs to the interview. So the East has it. It is a 2nd down and 9 from their own 31-yard line. And James Robinson will be the deep back here on this play. 1 receiver and a couple of tight ends. And the handoff is to Robinson. He is met in the backfield, able to escape that. Bounces it outside and will not make it back to the line of scrimmage. Well done that time by the West defense to string that play along.
Number 28, Jordan Stegman out of Sabine, Texas, definitely spearheaded the attack, the secondary for the West that time on that play.
And Mason Newton as well, big number 98 from Lake Ridge, Oregon, helping to make the tackle.
I don't know. The West secondary is definitely showing a little more speed and a little more life this part of the game. It's definitely showing out there on the field.
And a big play right here. 3rd and 11. They need to get to the 45 for a first down. Hazlitt's in trouble. He will be sacked. All the way back at the 19-yard line. They'll give him forward progress. But a big play made there by the West defense.
Number 98, Mason Newton out of Lake Ridge, Oregon, definitely had a hand on that play. First person to touch the quarterback on that defensive stance.
And Hazlitt, you feel for him. He really didn't have a prayer there. Nobody blocked up front.
Right.
And it is time to punt now for Jackson Terry on the east side.
And that, too, speaks to just how much time you don't get to work out those type of kinks. High-pressure situation, a little more anxiety, a little more nerves. You expect the blitz, and you just kind of forget, who do I got? Who do I cover?
Here's the punt by Terry. It is a wonderful punt. It'll be down at the 32-yard line. And let's see here. That is a 64-yard punt, I believe. No, that's not right. It's 46-yard punt. No return. Roderick Jones back deep, got out of the way. It'll be West football, and they will start at their own 35-yard line. We're in the fourth quarter. About 11:45 to play. And the West with a 7-point lead and the ball. And Patton Snell has been in the quarterback position for every snap of this second half after not playing in the first half. So interesting how Coach Mark McMillan has divvied up the reps at quarterback so far in this game. And now it looks like Nick Starkel will be back in there in the pistol. So Starkel, who got the first 4 series offensively. And he will turn, he will hand it off to Mike Green, and Green is met and dropped in the backfield
by number 48, James Brown.
And that guy has been everywhere tonight for the East, including in the end zone earlier in the first half.
Had a brief conversation with him during the week, and one thing he told me he loved about football is the running and the hitting. How fitting.
He has been doing a lot of that here tonight, and Mike Green is going to come off the field for the West. And now Morian Walker will be the running back to the left of Starkel in the shotgun on second down and about 12. Snap back, Starkel looking left, throwing left, completing to the left side, and this will be caught by Thomas Reed III up to the 40-yard line. That's a 7-yard gain there to bring up a 3rd and 5.
That defensive stance looks really good. That secondary looked like the corners had a little more support from the secondary, from the strong safeties that time. I think they can keep that up and get a little more pressure up that defensive front for the East. They have a chance they could possibly slow this West offense down, but if they can't get any pressure back there, it's going to be a long night for the East.
And a big play right here. The East defense really needs to get off the field. Snap to Starkel, handoff, Walker left side, first down, midfield, breaking through tackles, down to the 40-yard line. Morian Walker with a nice run over the left side for a West first down.
I know James Robinson was a little kicking himself in the backside for that one because he was the one back there in the backfield, had the first chance to get the running back down for a loss. But it did not pan out that way.
Walker, a tough runner. He is listed at 6'1", 210 pounds from Valley Christian, California. We mentioned earlier what a hotbed that is for high school football. We have seen that on display here tonight with Mike Green and Morian Walker, these two running backs. First down at the East 42-yard line, and Starkel's back to throw. He's got all day. He's loading up down the right sideline, a diving attempt. That'll be incomplete, but Starkel really unloaded that football. Zach Farrar was the intended receiver. It'll be 2nd and 10, but Starkel just put that one about 42 yards in the air.
If he had about 20 more yards to go, that would have been a touchdown.
Second down coming up from the 41-yard line. 21-14, the West with the lead, 9:49 to play in the game.
I like what Coach Hooks is doing. He's offensive coordinator for the West team. He's challenging these corners. They've given up touchdowns in the past, and during this game, they're going to keep challenging these corners to see if they can get some more touchdowns before this game is over.
And Mike Green with the carry, trying behind right tackle. Not much, and he is brought down rather immediately. Dalton Clark from Meigs, Ohio, made the tackle. 6'2", 300 pounds. Those kind of numbers, that reminds you of a guy like Dalen Mack at Texas A&M. Good, strong interior defensive lineman.
The East is laden with some strong defensive linemen, too. So they have the kids. They have the talent to make it happen. They just got to light a little fire into their backsides and then get back in there and see if they want to make some plays.
That's a 3rd down here for the West. Starkel back to throw, has time, and that is nearly intercepted through the hands of Curtis, the intended receiver, and then the interception dropped by James Brown. He nearly had his second takeaway of the game and would have had some room to return that ball. Fortunately for the West, it falls incomplete, and they will punt.
Good defensive stand for the East, though. Very good stand. Everybody showed up. Everybody made plays, and they worked as a team, which is one of those things that's just difficult when you have working with guys for only two days. So great defensive stance for the East that time.
The East will send Dorian Banks back to return the punt. It is high. It is a spiraling kick. Banks will watch it bounce at the 9. It will go into the end zone for a touchback. So
that punt was almost blocked by number 56, Brett Johnson out of Gallia Academy, Ohio. Great job getting back there and trying to influence that kick somehow.
Tommy Park with the punt, 41 yards, but he only nets 21. As it comes out to the 20, it'll be first down for the East. We have 8:51 to play here in the fourth quarter, and the East down by 7 here in the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl from AT&T Stadium. By the way, there is another one of these games that pits the North and the South against one another. The last couple of years, that's been in Tampa Bay, Florida. I believe it's being moved to Jacksonville this year. Saw that on the Impact Football Network website. That's coming up in January, I believe. Not mistaken.
I think you're right.
DeAndre Clayton is back in at quarterback for the East. He sets up a screen to Robinson, and Robinson again running into some of his own offensive linemen. A middle screen for a couple of yards there to Robinson that will bring up second down.
On that play too, again, number 65, the only defender for the West with the red helmet, coming out of Washington, Tiano Alavia. Goodness.
It's not easy, partner.
No, I hope his parents do not get upset with me for murdering his name like that.
Well, surely they're going to cut you a little bit of slack.
I sure hope so.
It's not exactly Smith.
Very far from Smith.
Here's a second down play. Clayton back to throw again, looking left, staring down the receiver. That will be caught. Short of a first down. Nice tackle made in the open field. That was Lawrence Brown who made the catch. It's going to be a third down and about a yard coming up. So big play right here. About halfway through this fourth quarter. Clayton under center. I right formation, the snap, and the handoff is to Robinson. He'll be brought down. Nice play made in the backfield by the West that time.
And I'm going to be great saying his name again, Tiano, T. Alavia, again, getting penetration up the A-gap and causing all kind of mishaps in the backfield and making that play.
And I think he was helped out there by Colton Parker, defensive lineman from Malakoff, Texas. And the West defense has held. It's time to punt for the East. Jackson Terry in to do the punting chores. And back deep for the West is number 26, Broderick Jones. And Jones will not have a chance to return this punt. It will bounce, it will roll, it will be killed at the 30-yard line. Nice punt there, 50-yard punt, no return by Jackson Terry. And the West will start with a football from their own 30-yard line, up 21-14 with 6:40 to play in the ball game. Well, it's been a good game here from AT&T Stadium. The offenses have struggled just a bit. We have seen some big plays on some blown coverages. A lot of turnovers in this game, which you might expect from offenses that haven't really, well, practiced a lot together, to be honest.
Not to mention learning new schemes, new installations, new coaches.
And here's the handoff to Tevin McDaniel, making some nice moves to the outside. He's up across the 35.
I think the West got away with a little block in the back on that outside there.
McDaniel brought down at the 37-yard line, a 7-yard gain there for Tevin McDaniel. And right now for the West, Kevin Davidson in at quarterback. A young kid from McClemens, California. In the pistol here with 3 receivers. And the snap back on second down, and the handoff is to Warren. And Warren trying to sweep the right side. Not going to get much. It's going to bring up a third down, and before the next play, we'll go downstairs to Mercedes Owens.
Hey everyone, I'm here with Zach Farrar. Just had a big touchdown. How'd that feel?
Pretty good, pretty good. I mean, it got us the lead, so had to do it for my team.
Yeah, it seems like this West Side is really coming together this second half.
Oh, yeah. We're coming together as a team. We're putting all the elements together to defense making stops, offense making plays, putting those two together to make plays.
Now, Zach is from South Lake, so he's local here to the DFW area. But you talked about your top 5 for offers headed your way, and some of those were not in Texas. What are you thinking about?
Well, my top 5 is no order: Tech, Nebraska, Washington, OSU, and Mississippi State, and that's my top 5. So, I'm open to go to any of those schools. I'm not looking to maybe stay in the state. I'm not looking to go out of state, so I'm just kind of weighing out all my options.
Weighing all your options, looking for what's best for you. So let's talk about this weekend and what it's done to prepare you or help get you ready for your college experience.
This weekend, we came in, we got a whole bunch of ex-college NFL players teaching us the game, kind of getting camaraderie from different guys out of the different parts of the country. We got guys from Hawaii coming in, guy from Australia coming in. So the camaraderie and the things we learned makes for a really good weekend out here.
All right, well, thank you so much, Zach. Hopefully you can go out there and get one more touchdown before this game wraps up. Best of luck to you. Thanks, Ryan.
All right, thank you, Mercedes. Nice job down there. Zach Farrar from South Lake Carroll High School. And well, you know, Sheldon, that Coach Gundy, Coach Kingsbury, and several of the other coaches, Coach Mullen, some of the other guys hot and heavy after Zach Farrar would really like to get him into their program.
Of course they would. That's like we mentioned earlier. He's one of those prototypical type of receivers. He's over 6'2". He's about 210, 220 pounds. He runs a 4.4. He's extremely quick, great hands, and he just kind of lulls you to sleep with his route running abilities. And one thing that always kind of makes me laugh is when you talk to these younger players, they always want to mention X. They want to emphasize the X part when you're talking about ex-NFL players, ex-college football players. You might not, don't count us out. We might be able to go out there and show you a few more things too if we have to. If we had to.
Yeah, if you were called upon, right?
If we're called upon, that's right.
4th down and inches here for the West. They're going to run it, and they're going to be stuffed.
Great play.
Davidson doesn't get it. Boy, the East is fired up after that. Dorian Banks came off the edge.
And James Brown also in on that play. They need to be fired up. They need some kind of spark to pull from behind in this game.
Boy, interesting call there by the West and Coach Mark McMillan to go for it on a 4th and short in their own territory. Up by 7 with 4:15 to play in the game.
Guess he's figured he's trying to make we're here to put on a show.
I guess so, and so now we'll see if the East can make Coach McMillan pay for that decision. DeAndre Clayton will be the quarterback.
Back to the running formation.
And they're under center. Fairchild's the deep man. Out of the eye, and the pitch to Fairchild coming left, and a nice play made from the linebacker position right there by the West. Wonderful play made there by the linebacker, number 32, Corey Solinsky, whose name we called earlier, and he came to the football in a bad mood right there. Big loss on the play. That's a 6-yard loss on the pitch left to Fairchild to bring up 2nd down. Not how the East wanted to get that possession going. Fairchild again will be the running back. This time they'll spread it out with Clayton in the shotgun. Tight end left. And a penalty flag from the back judge. That's a delay of game against the offense. And now it's really not the start that Coach George Teague had envisioned for this possession, down by 7 with under 4 minutes to play in the game.
That forces Coach Banks to really dig deep into his playbook and try to put something together for these guys to get some yardage, because they cannot get pushed out of scoring position right now.
Clayton from the gun. And now a timeout will be called, I believe. Let's wait and see. No call from the official just yet. I'm not sure which team called the timeout, but one of the teams called the timeout. And with 3:31 to play in the 4th quarter, we'll take the break as well here on the Impact Football Network.
Take my hand and start a brand new day. And together as one we'll start to see some change.
Underneath everything we are, underneath everything we do, we are all people, connected, interdependent, united. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
Back here at AT&T Stadium alongside Sheldon Jackson Jr., formerly of the Nebraska Cornhuskers and the Buffalo Bills, but not an ex-NFL player. Let's get that straight.
We preferred retired.
That's right. Meaning you could unretire at any moment.
At any moment. Just got to get in shape a little bit.
1:57 to play in the game. This is a big second down play right here. Second and about 20. Clayton's back to throw. They set up the screen to Fairchild. Good blocking out in front. Cut inside to the 40. And brought down at around the 39-yard line.
Good
They
play.
get back to the original line of scrimmage to set up a manageable third down as the clock winds.
Good play with the screen. The linemen were right where they needed to be to make good blocks. Running back used the blocks really good. Got back to the line of scrimmage like you said. Now they got to go 10 more yards for a first.
It's a third down and about 9 to go. Clayton from the gun. Now he's talking to his left tackle. And a timeout's going to be called here by the East. Some miscommunication up front.
That's big Donovan Campbell. You got to get things squared away with him. If he doesn't know what the play is, you definitely got to call the timeout.
Campbell, the LSU commit. And a good timeout called there by George Teague. Very important play. You want to make sure everybody's on the same page. The West on top of the East, 21-14. The East is driving. They're at the 40-yard line with about 1 minute and 17 seconds to play here in the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl. And this has been a very pleasant game, I think. You know, both sides have played well. It's been competitive. And we've seen a lot of really very talented recruits play in this game here tonight from AT&T Stadium.
Definitely have to agree with you on that. Definitely, it meets my expectations. Very excited to see these kids come out here and perform under these circumstances. And, I mean, what better venue to play a football game?
We'll see if the East has one last push in him. 3rd and 9, and Clayton back to throw. Pressure, and he's dropped. Back at around midfield. A sack on the play by the West will bring up 4th down and long. And for the West, on the defensive line, Joe Wallace from Skyline made the tackle. Timeout called by the East to stop the clock. And this is going to bring up 4th down, and this will basically be the ball game right here. They're back at the West 48-yard line now, and it's going to be 4th and 18 coming up.
Somebody's going to have to remind some of those linemen, this is this game here, even though it's an exhibition, you do want to come out here and compete. You don't want somebody to just push you around. It's one of the best places to be a bully is on the football field. And right now, some of those linemen on the east side are allowing themselves to get bullied.
Yeah, the right side of that offensive line, Sieve on that last play. 4th and 18, and this to keep the East's hope alive. Clayton out of the gun, 3 receivers, Fairchild the running back. And the snap back to Clayton with a straight drop. Deep throw down the left side, incomplete. Well, they tried everything right there. It comes up a bit short, incomplete, intended for David Barnett from Shawnee, Ohio. And the West, I believe, is going to sit on this one and ice this one away.
That was a great push from that West defensive 4. They were in the quarterback's face. That offensive line just had too much meat and potatoes coming their way. And I think the quarterback threw the ball much sooner than he wanted to.
So the West will take over. We've got around a minute to play in the game, and I don't believe the East. I think they have 1 timeout left. And so they can stop the clock once, and that's about it. What a ball game this has been. Very competitive. And it comes down to really the final possession of the game. for the East. They come up empty on a 4th and 18. 21-14, the West with the lead, and now in at quarterback is Patton Snell. He will roll to his left. He will run it. He will slide down at the 45. He's going to lose some yardage on this play, maybe a couple, and it'll bring up 2nd down as the clock will wind, and the East apparently will not take its final timeout.
Interesting play call on that one. But it works, very effective. The clock loses a yard, the clock still runs. I guess it works.
That's a good heads-up play by Snell to make sure he's not tackled out of bounds to stop the clock. This time he'll just send his right knee to the ground, and
that makes sense.
I believe that'll do it. The West, a come-from-behind victory here tonight at AT&T Stadium. They were down 14-7 in the 3rd quarter. They win it tonight, the final score. The West squad 21 and the East 14, as that will wrap up a riveting 2015 version of the Blue-Gray All-American Bowl between the East and the West. And Sheldon, what are your final thoughts from this ball game tonight?
It met my expectations. I was excited to watch the game. Excited to watch the game in the venue. I think the kids came out and competed. I think the kids took advantage of this opportunity. And that's what you want them to do. That's what you want to see when you come and watch kids play ball. You want to see them to apply effort. The skills, you can work on skills. You can always improve on the skills, but the one thing you can't coach is effort. And so when guys come together from all over the great country that we live in here, and they perform out here on the football field and do what they did, I'm excited. So great game. The kids deserve a well-received reward and welcome for their efforts on the field. And these parents, of course, just the cost of getting here from all the various walks of this country that they've come and traveled, they need a hand too for what they've done. So it was just an overall great experience for the Blue-Gray football organization, and I look forward to working with them continually.
Yeah, great event put on here by Gus Bell, Sean Zaglinski, the entire crew at the Impact Football Network, and we thank them for helping us get this broadcast on the air. Once again, the final score tonight from AT&T Stadium, the West 21 and the East 14. Until next time, for Mercedes Owens, our engineer Terry Gregory, Sheldon Jackson Jr., and our entire crew, I'm Ryan Castle saying good night from Arlington, Texas, and until next time, so long, everybody.